them and wait.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And I
doing.
can't. I can't.
We just like to kind of
Yeah.
like for the whole well in the
program.
yeah
In the spring.
It's my favorite.
So that when we did our digital, is make sure that it's on the circuit, that
I
you
didn't
have
see,
a power
is
circuit.
Helga here?
We
Helga
had a
Cuddy?
power circuit.
She's
so
not-
that it's already here
She said she was gonna be.
Luckily, it's still under warranty, cost $50,000.
Oh, that's what they're trying to get online. Okay. So I guess I need
That's
Carol.
what they're doing. You know that.
For
that. You
So-
know, no, I'm not stupid.
Carol.
This morning, I didn't know Jim.
Carol.
Sir,
Oh,
we're ready? Okay.
Quit talking, Renee.
Yeah, it is.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. At, what time is it? Do we need that for the official 10:10? Okay, Dwayne? It's up to
Actually,
you.
if you want to start with introductions, and then I'll go over the house housekeeping. Go ahead and start here. Just your name and your institution or organization.
I'm Elia Mendez, El Paso Community College.
David Araguin, former program director at Del Mar College, representing industry and dentistry.
Michelle Giles from Houston Community College.
Eva Sepulveda, Del Mar College.
Carrie Hobbs at Tyler Junior College.
Chris McClellan, Collin College.
Carol Durkowski, Wharton County Junior College.
Renee Cornett, Austin Community College.
Belinda Linderman, Howard College.
Jackie Esselton, Westlake High School.
Cindy O'Neill, Tarrant County College.
Connie Griffin, Coast Bend College.
Debbie Brown, Lamar Institute of Technology.
Sheila Vandenbush, El Central College.
Thank you. And I'm Dwayne Hiller, program director here at the coordinating board at Workforce Education. Just want to go over, since this is kind of a new room and a new setup, the microphones in front of you, they should be blinking red. Unlike the ones we had downstairs, you don't need to turn these ones on and off. They're on all the time. So that's kind of a bit of a warning also. Just to make sure you're try to keep
Blinking red or
background
green?
noise in them.
Are they red or green?
They should be flashing red, green.
Green, they're green.
Yeah,
Okay.
that means that they're active.
Uh-oh.
So,
Good.
and
Too late.
right.
Darn.
So, the 6 people who are watching us will.
Yeah.
We've had a little bit of, I guess, might say technical difficulty in getting this room ready for live broadcast. This meeting is being recorded, and it will be available on YouTube, through our archives, probably within a week. But they haven't been able to get the broadcast section up yet, so we're not quite live. So hopefully, if anyone was planning to watch live this morning, well, they're probably watching the recording now, so I'll just let them know that we were unable to broadcast live. Just reminder, well, the main reminder is that we're representing the whole state of Texas, and hopefully the work we do here will help benefit the institutions you're at. Hold on a second. Yes, hello. Okay, thank you. Okay, good to know. Bye. I was just notified that we are being broadcast live, so hi everybody. Okay, thanks. As I was saying, we're representing the whole state of Texas. Hopefully the work we do here will benefit your institutions and organizations, but we kind of need to put our own individual personal interests aside and think of what's best for the students and education across the whole state of Texas. Occasionally, we at the coordinating board, and I'm sure you in your fields, will start using acronyms or abbreviations. If we're not sure of what exactly the abbreviation you're using, we'll ask you to explain that. And in the same way, if I use some abbreviation or acronym that you don't understand, feel free to ask me. If people don't know what the WECM is, it's Workforce Education Course Manual. So if I go on saying WECM and you're not sure what I'm talking about, just feel free to raise your hand and ask. We do have Wi-Fi. If you remember, it's Education Go Get It, and there's no password required. That's available throughout the building. We do have an opportunity for public commentary or visitors' comments. I don't see any visitors here today, so just to let you know, if you're watching and you want to send in a comment, send it through pos.contact@thecb.state.tx.us. As you're aware, we have a kind of a lunch pool that we get together. It's $10 a piece, and at some point, if you want to put in, if you're participating, go ahead and put in $10, and then pass your envelopes up to the front, and we'll collect those in a minute.
We only have 20.
I got 5. Does somebody have change for 20?
Somebody have change for 50?
Oh boy, you probably will. Just write on the envelope what you put in, and then they'll
They'll give you
give you
change.
change.
Okay. I stopped and got mine changed, Renee.
And then just a reminder, the restrooms are midway down the hall. There's a sign and a little alcove there. And vending machines are on the first floor, just past where you came in this morning. So there's kind of a hallway, and then there's a break room, and it has a kiosk with different snacks and sodas. That machine does take cash and credit cards. Okay, with that, I guess we'll,
That's the front. Oh,
yeah, out this door and then down the long hallway. So this is actually we are in like the back of the building, so down the long hallway will be to the front.
that way.
And anything else? I guess we want to start on the minutes from the October 9th meeting, if you've had a chance to review those. And if you have any corrections or additions.
Sure. On number 4, it said, on the minutes, it said respiratory care instead of dental hygiene courses on page 2.
Okay.
Number 5, it was 5A.
Okay. All right. So is it the sentence that courses were listed on the, what is the sentence that?
It said, on 5A, it said review of list
I
of
see.
respiratory courses instead of dental hygiene.
Okay, I see, and the agenda item side. Okay, we'll correct that.
And agenda item 5 itself.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
respiratory care instead of dental
This
hygiene.
respiratory care.
Okay, thanks.
I don't need to know any more about any healthcare program. No. I don't care. How long have you known me? How long have you known me?
Okay, has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Any other comments, or I guess entertain a motion to accept these minutes?
I move we accept the minutes
Okay.
with the corrections.
A second.
Okay. And I guess all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Okay, and I think if we're ready, we can look at the work we did last meeting, and okay, and from the last meeting, we had the we discussed continuing the orofacial anatomy, histology, and embryology, dental radiology, periodontology, community dentistry, dental materials, preclinical dental hygiene, pharmacology for the dental hygienist, and then general and oral pathology. And then we recommended 3 clinicals, 1 for healthy maintenance to slight periodontal disease, number 2 for mild to moderate periodontal case types, and then the 3rd one for moderate to advanced periodontal case types. Is that everybody's, I guess, recollection that those are the courses?
Mm-hmm.
And then in addition, we were looking at dental hygiene practice, dental hygiene 2153, 2253, and we were considering making some changes to that description.
Dwayne, the description that would be in the Wickham, is that what
Right.
you're referring to?
Yeah.
I thought it was preventive dental hygiene one that we were going to do that too.
Okay, and that might be, I think there were 2 or 3 courses.
There
Let
was
me
a couple
check.
of them. I think we were looking at preventive and dental hygiene care.
Okay, 1 and 2.
I think we were looking at both of those.
We were
Yeah.
okay with dental hygiene practice.
Were we okay? Yeah, with dental hygiene practice, we were, I think. But with dental hygiene care,
Yeah.
Right, no, and then special topics we were looking at also.
okay.
So we had the dental hygiene care and then the preventive dental hygiene
We
care.
were looking at those three.
Right.
Practice
Okay.
is pretty self-explanatory.
I need some clarification. I'm sorry, y'all. As you move down this, we get into general education courses. Okay. So it says humanities, social behavioral science, natural science, math. But besides general education, it says 15 hours. Then out to the far right, it says 12 hours. So that's just what we have filled in.
Right.
Okay, so we need to add more there, correct?
Well, and it's not that we need to add more. Colleges are free to, select their own, like English, psychology, history, other
Okay, so
courses.
we don't have to put those courses in there. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay.
And it's really just the courses that you feel are essential for every dental hygiene
Okay.
program.
Thank you very much.
So I guess that would come to the point of the Commission on Dental Accreditation has basically a core general education requirements that they expect. So they expect things like oral and written communications. They expect some of the sciences like the anatomy, physiology, chemistry, microbiology, and some of the social sciences, which a lot of us use as sociology and psychology, or a
Right.
social psych combination. So do we reflect those here as well, because that's, or do we just say that the general ed core has to be at least 12 hours, but we may have 25 hours?
Right. And,
I think.
like in a lot of those cases, colleges use different courses to fulfill those requirements. So we can't, in some cases we can't really specify a specific course, but we can say that these courses are required parts of the core.
Okay, so then
And
when we
then-
look at the bottom where it has a maximum of 68 on our worksheet here, and we have our two columns, then in that situation, we're not going to hit today that maximum because there will be the general education courses that will be a part of our curriculum that we will choose at our college. Does that make sense? So are we supposed to make it match 68 at the bottom?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Like for reasons you said, we don't need to. That's
So we're looking
allow
at
some flexibility for the colleges.
Okay.
We're looking at probably aiming at 53, looks like.
Okay. That's just
So-
what I needed clarified, because when I looked at the numbers at the bottom, I thought, okay, unless we start specifying those, we're not going to we're going to have basically a core of, like you said, 53 or 55 that all of us will have, but then the balance is going to be made up by different combinations.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Just a point of clarity, did we have preclinical on that listing? I didn't see it.
Yes.
It wasn't, it was up there? Okay.
It is up there. Do you see
is?
it?
Preclinical dental hygiene.
It's above
Right.
Oh, there it is,
pharmacology.
okay.
It wasn't included with the clinic courses.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
I would have put it there too, David.
I have, did you get this one? Because you didn't get,
I didn't print it
that's
out.
a new,
Oh, thank
new
you.
one.
So then now the discussion is what happens in dental hygiene care 1 and 2 across our,
No, dental hygiene,
Yeah.
Right. I think.
Right,
Yes.
or whichever one you want to start with.
I don't
Right.
care.
but we were okay with dental hygiene practice, right?
Right.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
That's
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Because wasn't that
That's a
Yeah.
separate course.
like preparing for
That's
employment,
Yeah.
ethics, jurisprudence?
Yes.
Thought we all
Okay. So
agreed on that one. I didn't come with stuff for that one.
Were we happy with the course description on it? Do you remember?
For hygiene practice?
Yes.
I made a note to add teamwork or interprofessional.
Yes. So Dwayne, we're messing with you now. Oh, there you are. Never mind. Never mind. You're listening.
Getting to that course. Yeah. So what was the recommendation?
Some verbiage about teamwork and interprofessional.
Interprofessional collaboration?
I don't know.
Neither.
I don't know, because that really could be put in so many courses across the curriculum that if we're adding it to you can add it to your individual AMSs, but if we add it here, then that's going to necessitate that it be here.
Yeah, because we add ours in community.
Right. Some people put it in community. You can put it in pre-clinic. We do some. Yeah, we do some in pre-clinic, inter collaboration with nursing students, things like that. So I think that narrows us down way too much.
Okay.
My personal opinion is that we need to keep the course descriptions a little bit broad, because remember when we went to that 68 hours,
yeah,
we had to do a lot of manipulation to get to that 68 hours. And if we narrow these down too much, I think it's going to hurt us even more than that did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I'm just looking at it from a broad perspective.
I understand.
Dental hygiene practice, what does that mean? You know, what should that include?
Jurisprudence and ethics.
Yeah, jurisprudence.
Yeah, I agree everything that it's in. I agree
Yes,
everything that's there now.
Practice settings for the dental
but-
hygienist, office operations.
Yeah, all that.
But I know that's been a big issue in business industry, has been teamwork. And there's nowhere in the curriculum that states that. If anything, that component.
Could it say something like introduction to the dental team?
So yeah, that would be fine.
Because, I mean, the reality is, we do talk about, dentist,
Right.
employer,
Right.
receptionist, assistant, the roles of everybody.
True. That would be good.
That'd be good.
Doesn't preparation for employment kind of imply that? I mean, because you're preparing them, and to us, that would be required. That's
Well, it
not
could say
necessarily-
preparation for employment and working with the dental team.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's good right there.
Okay.
Because it's the interaction.
Yes.
But what? Stop. Wait a minute. One more thing. Remember, if we change anything, we have to go back through our CIR committees. All this has to go back through our curriculum and instruction committees.
Oh, in about
I
a
think
year
we're
when all
gonna
this
have
is
to
approved.
anyway.
Huh?
I think we're gonna have to
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because.
But
of
it's
the
just
other-
one more thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if
It's
you're
all
going
built
through
into
the
it.
committee, you might as well.
But it's one more thing to go through that committee.
But we gotta do it
Okay.
for the clinical
Oh, good,
courses anyway,
thanks.
sweetie.
Yes.
I know, but we don't have. I don't want any extra
Okay.
work.
This is true.
Okay. I really think that my personal opinion. Again, I think it says what it needs to say.
Okay.
It is what it.
I think what we decided is I'm going to go ahead and put you on speakerphone.
So,
So the meeting kind of just
so
started.
those
we went
are
over
kind
the
of
minutes
more like
already.
accreditation standards that we're talking about, like interprofessional education.
Mm-hmm.
Those can be included in our objectives.
Exactly, and they can
And-
be. You can change the course descriptions on your administrative master syllabi.
But David's
Oh, yeah.
coming from the employment, the
The
Well, I
employment-
understand that.
And there's nothing in the
Workforce.
curriculum that even addresses that.
yes. So
So
this
I'm-
would,
so I'm
But
saying
that says
from-
it right there.
I'm-
Preparation for employment.
and introduction to the dental team.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just saying, what I've noticed in my practice experience is the interprofessional relationship between the team members. It seems like there's a hierarchy in the office, and that the hygienist rules the roost, and the assistant's just like a follower, and there's battles there.
What office?
No, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Are you
I've
looking
seen
in a collaborative Just within the dental team or outside the dental team as well?
Predominantly in private practice as the dental team. There's a hierarchy, and there's not a lot of, I'm not saying all offices, but I see a lot, from what I gather from colleagues, there's a team element there that's not, be it respect of what they bring to the table.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Well, and on our local advisory committee, and I've still had to fight for this with my own curriculum committee group, is that we have something about the team of dentistry in our competency statements, and I have to consistently fight to keep that in there to meet the needs of my advisory committee.
I was low man on the totem pole in the private practice for 24 years.
Me too.
I mean, the office manager or dental assistant was in charge.
That's what I teach my students, honey.
I'll say the dental assistant in my office was pretty much in charge.
Yeah,
because I wasn't there every day.
Her way, yeah.
You do it the dental assistant way because if you don't, he needs them. He can get another year.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you need the assistant.
exactly. And you need the assistant on your side.
And the dentist have a very close relationship.
So are you saying that our students should be exposed to the team, the dental team?
Isn't there something in Wilkins already addressing that? It's in preclinical. It is in
It's not
preclinical.
written anywhere.
The professional dental hygienist.
But it's not written in any of our.
It's not written.
Yeah, it's just
And
on
we
our
do
course
have it
description.
changed in the attitude in the office though. Everything with millennials coming in.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So that's a good
It is a
thing
huge
to put
issue.
in there.
Especially with the different generations coming in.
Right.
I think we should add what Dr. Eddie was suggesting to that. I mean, we're teaching it already.
And it's just one more thing.
It also
just one more
gives us,
thing.
if we need to bring it up.
It's just
to
not
our
documented
teamwork.
anywhere.
So
That's my
I
point.
move that we change, we edit the
And
course
it makes sense in dental
description.
hygiene practice.
I move that we change the course description by editing preparation for employment and introduction to the dental team, period.
Yes, I concur with that.
Okay.
Okay, David, I'll give it to you this time.
Is there a
The only
second?
one.
Is there a second?
I second.
I second.
Before
I
you say
second.
second, before, you have to take out the and, so just,
Oh, well, yes.
so that would be operations, comma, and take out the and. There.
When I will second Renee's suggestion.
You should have firsted it.
You gonna vote on it?
Would you like to vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstaining?
Okay, so the recommendation is to change the course description for dental hygiene 2153, 2253 to add an introduction to the dental team at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't eat my nails this morning. I'm just.
See, by Friday it gets snarky. I'm starting to sleep.
I'm just tired. I can't fight anymore.
So I have a question, because I'm pretty new at this, but when we change these course descriptions and we go back to school, who has to approve all this?
The Curriculum and Instruction Committee.
So depending on how your college is set
Yeah.
up.
But there's
The
somebody.
curriculum review committee?
Yes.
And that's what goes into your, well, you build on that for your course catalog. But this all won't go into effect until
Next year.
next year, and it's been voted on at
Because
the,
most of the curriculum review committees won't let you put anything in after December. Because it has to go to the catalog.
and this isn't official yet until
Exactly.
it's voted
So you have to
by.
wait till this is official?
I would wait till this gets
Yeah.
official
Yeah.
before you put it. Because then that's really good justification.
It'll be Wickham, it's mandated.
It's
It's
mandated,
it's
so
mandated.
that's your
And you
justification
can do
for
it in
doing it.
one fell swoop.
Right.
Okay.
When is this effective? For year 19?
Well, this is a subcommittee, right? Or
Yes, this is
So then it has to go to the committee,
Right.
And then, but it's still not going to be, when is all this going to be effective, Dwayne?
Yeah, just to clarify, the recommendations from this subcommittee go to the advisory committee of health sciences. And then the health sciences advisory committee will make the recommendation to the coordinating board. And that'll go out for public comments. Depending on what comments we get, we'll address those. And then once the coordinating board has approved it, then the effective date is the fall of the following year.
Oh, okay.
In most cases. 2019 fall.
Well, right. So the earliest we're looking at is fall of 2019 at the
earliest. Is the advisory committee sending these forward as they come to the advisory committee, or are we going to wait till everything's in a packet till all of those are done and then send them forward?
Well, like I said, we have I think about 4 subcommittees that are making recommendations, and each of them will go up to the advisory committee.
Right, but after it goes to the advisory committee, is my question.
Okay.
Are we going to hold them all and send them forward to the coordinating board in one packet, or are we going to send them as we approve them?
As we approve them.
Okay.
I mean, as the advisory committee approves them.
Okay.
And Dwayne, could you summarize for us again what the legislative mandate is that is driving all this?
Well, it's House Bill.
I'll have to look that up.
It's House Bill 2628. And basically, it says that, I'm going to kind of paraphrase. It says the board, with assistance of the appropriate advisory committee, shall periodically review each field of study curriculum to ensure alignment with student interests and academic and industry needs. The board, with the assistance of institutions of higher education, career and technical education experts, and college and career readiness experts, shall establish alignment between the college and career readiness standards and the knowledge, skills, and abilities students are expected to demonstrate in career and technical education by establishing programs of study that incorporate rigorous college and career readiness standards, including career and technical education standards that address both academic and technical content, support alignment of employability and career readiness skills, progress in content specifically by beginning with all aspects of an industry or career cluster and leading to more occupationally specific instruction, or by preparing students for ongoing post-secondary career preparation. An associate or baccalaureate, this says it includes an associate or baccalaureate degrees. It says the board shall develop career and technical education programs of study curricula. It tells what the advisory committee is made up. It says the board may partner with the Texas Education Agency, TWC, and other state agencies. A program of study under this section must, 1, focus on the current and future needs of employers in the state. 2, clearly define career pathways with logical entry and exit points for students. 3, indicate the types of careers and the names of certifications or licenses aligned to the program of study. 4, provide for students who begin a program of study at a public junior college, public state college, or public technical institute to transfer to another public junior college, public state college, or public technical institution without having to repeat classes or incur significant interruption of their ability to progress through the program of study. 5, be designated to meet the needs of business and industry with a high degree of commonality across the state. 6, align with the college and career readiness standards. And 7, be reviewed on a reoccurring schedule not to exceed once every 5 years to ensure the program of study remain current and relevant to the needs of business and industry. If a student enrolled in a board-established program of study who transfers from a public junior college, public state college, or public technical institute to another public junior college, public state college, or public technical institute that offers a similar program, regardless of whether the institution has adopted the board-established program of study, shall receive academic credit from the institution to which the student transferred for each of the courses that the student has successfully completed in the program of study curriculum, unless otherwise required by the Commission of Colleges or of the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. The student may complete the program of study at the institution to which the student transfer by completing only the remaining number of semester credit hours would needed to complete the program of study at the institution from which the student transferred. So
Carol, just as a clarification, having said what you just said, so a student that takes oral, facial anatomy, histology, and embryology at your college transfers to my college, we give 2 credit hours for that. You give 3 credit hours. So at my college, they don't accept that.
They will accept that.
That's my point. Like,
they will accept that with the program of study.
So even though it's a 2, you give 3 and I give 2, they must accept the 2. I guess that's what I wanted to clarify.
What if it's reversed?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's reversed.
It won't.
It shouldn't transfer.
Because it's 1 less hour.
It's 1 less hour.
That was my point, that if it's 1 less hour, then they won't accept it.
Oh no, I don't think the colleges will. But are they doing this as a block?
Well, and the idea basically is the program of study is more or less a block. You award the number of credits based on what the student transfers in with, but you don't require that student to retake the course, is basically what they're saying.
So if the student, if the student takes a 2-hour anatomy course and mine's 3 hours, I have to accept that for 3 hours?
Right, because the course itself has all the same.
All the course objectives are there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You shouldn't look at the hours, you should look at the content.
Yeah, you look at the content.
Look at the objectives.
They still have to meet the 68-hour graduation requirement.
Right.
And that's why we have the 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
You have to
still
look
gonna
at
have to-
content.
They may have to take extra courses to get to the 68 hours.
But it wouldn't have to be in oral anatomy,
No,
blah, blah,
no.
blah. That's what so really what we're looking at is to make sure that all of us have similar objectives in these courses.
Well, if you're looking at your objectives are stated in WECM.
Yeah.
So you're going by the same.
Outcome is.
Yeah, the outcome objectives.
Right.
Yeah. So as long as you're addressing that, I think that's the whole emphasis on this.
Okay.
And I just pulled up the Commission on Dental Accreditation as far as a general policy. The importance of institutional academic freedom is recognized by the Commission, and their accreditation standards allow institutions considerable flexibility in structuring their educational programs. The Commission encourages the achievement of excellence through curricular innovation and development of institutional individuality. Depending upon its objectives, resources, and state practice provisions, the institution may elect to extend the scope of the curriculum to include content and instruction in additional areas. Programs in their sponsoring institutions are encouraged to provide for the educational mobility of their students, which is what this is about, through articulation arrangements and career laddering. and strongly encourage to develop mechanisms toward advanced standing for students who have completed coursework at other educational programs accredited by the commission. So it's the same,
Yep.
Right.
same.
It's dovetailing right into that.
Right,
Dovetail
I was
without-
just trying to clarify
We don't
that
have to
the
look
college-
alike.
Right.
We just have to recognize
alike.
Recognize the content.
recognize the content
Yeah,
areas.
the content.
But once we do this, then the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, so they tell our college that, no, you can't expect the student to retake that course.
Right.
And it's a done deal.
Right,
Yep.
it's statute.
That's what
It's
But I do know if the course is not in your degree plan, then financial aid has
Exactly.
issues and stuff. So do we have to add courses to our degree plan to make up for these discrepancies in hours? Because if like I have a 3-hour course and I accept a 2-hour course, that would be one less hour. Then where do you make up that one
And-
more hour?
And we don't really, I mean, we have a maximum 68 hours, but it's not a requirement that every program be at 68 hours. So
Well,
if
yes,
you-
it is for our colleges to get a degree.
To get a degree.
Yeah,
it is.
it is.
So what I did,
Okay.
now we're getting ready to talk about preventive dental hygiene care. I was doing a degree plan comparison for someone who wanted to transfer into our program. And so what I did is got a hold of the course syllabi and the content areas, compared the two, and basically told the student that basically I required them to have to get together with the course director and figure out the areas that were deficient, and we were going to have to figure out some way to bring that individual up to speed in those areas. I didn't require her to retake the course, but I said we have to get our content areas to match. But part of what we're doing right now is going to take care of some of that.
Right.
But again, what you just read from the accreditation from CODA also talks about academic freedom.
Right.
And if we're putting all these courses into this one hole, we're limiting our academic freedom.
The only freedom is the general education portion.
That's what we're doing, and we need to look at that really carefully.
Right.
Is that what you want for your programs? I know we're looking at what's best for the students, but we're looking at what's best for the students that are transferring in, and how many of those do we get? Plus the fact we need to look what's right for our institutions and the profession as a whole. You know, we have to address CODA.
Well, then let me dovetail on as far as CODA Standard 2-4. Admission of students with advanced standing, which is transfer, must be based on the same standards of achievement required by the students regularly enrolled in the program. Students with advanced standing must receive an appropriate curriculum that results in the same standards of competence required by the students regularly enrolled in the program. So similarly, I tested this individual that wanted to transfer in to see if they met our instrumentation standards.
Right.
And they did not. And I used this standard to say, sorry, even though you've taken this course, you haven't met our standards. You know, but I had it all written in like a contract type format. You've got to meet this, 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 and this. And because the remediation would have been too unwieldy to get that person up to speed to transfer into our program, we rejected the transfer. So, I mean, there's still this piece that CODA allows that just because, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just because somebody says they don't like Ms. Cornett and they're going to go over to Carol Dukowski's program.
It's going to be the other way around.
That they still have to meet the same curricular standards that you have in place. So just because they may have taken
The same courses.
The same courses.
or and in this situation manipulated the grades a little bit through legal means, and they're coming in and they want to transfer to me, they still have to meet our standards.
Yes.
And you just have to, the documents have to be in place
It's called a
Oh,
transfer
So
policy.
that allows you the autonomy.
It's called a transfer policy.
Another question I have too is, are we going to have to align all of our curriculum at the same
Sequence.
sequence?
Not at this point.
That's huge.
It's not stated in this anywhere. I asked Gary that exact question when the advisory committee, when the subcommittee met the first time, and I was told that no.
Okay.
They just want us to have the same courses.
Okay.
But they said nothing about putting them in the same sequence. But again, and this is a personal comment. Y'all, everybody knows me. They're all personal comments. This has come down from the legislature for whatever reason. So there is nothing to say that somebody's daughter can't get in because they're missing a course, and they go to the legislature and they change it and pass it again. So there's nothing to say that. So I don't know. You know, at this point, it's not.
Okay.
Well, and that's where the advising comes in. Let's say if I have an individual that comes in and say, okay, if you want to transfer into my program, the sequencing is not the same. That's going to put you off another year. You would be better off staying at your home institution and finishing out the program because of the way, like some of the folks have additional summer clinicals or our sequencing piece. You know, our pathology course happens at a different time than your pathology course does, and it's a required prereq for another course. Then I sit and advise them and say, okay, we can look at this, but you need to understand you're adding a year to your degree plan, or your year to your goal.
Okay. Well, and again, that's our
Then you might be a year
freedom.
out from
Right.
taking
Yeah,
the
exactly.
clinicals. You might be a year out. If you have to repeat
Regardless.
a didactic course, you may be a year out from taking your clinicals, your clinical exam, so that, you know, you're probably going to want to retake a clinic or something.
Or at least audit something.
At least audit
Exactly.
something.
Right.
Yeah.
We do that.
And Renee and I are conveniently, I've learned by trial by fire
Yes.
as a new director, and grades were manipulated. Student was dismissed for the same reason. She was not allowed in another college. And
And
now-
we'll keep it just at that because this is all being recorded.
Exactly, and it seems like if we sequence, our sequences are different, then if I would try to accept another student, we've made a mandate in our clinic manual to have them start all over again. Because if you're out of clinic for a year,
Right.
your skills
It
are gone.
has to be part of it.
So it's like you have to start all over again. Because that's what we've learned even when we're off in the summer.
And then we're balancing our legislative mandate with patient safety.
Exactly.
So it has to be very carefully thought through because you don't want to be not complying to the standards.
Yes.
But you have to. We're the gatekeeper for our society, for our
Right.
patients.
Exactly.
So that's the balance.
Exactly.
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 And it's like, what do you do in that particular case? If the student has been out of the clinical setting for an entire year, it's not a continuance.
No.
It's like you can't just jump in and transfer. That's not a transfer.
Unless you have some sort of a competency-based
Right.
exam,
we all do.
assessment, that they have to
Yes.
say, okay, can you pass this?
Yeah.
And if you pass this, we'll let you proceed on.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing in the legislation that says that you can't have policies on students transferring in.
Transfer, yes, exactly. And I'm wondering now that we're doing all of this, what's going to mandate it? Is it going to be our own college institution about our new regulation or new rule that we put in our institution? If you've been out of dental hygiene and their clinical skills, then we request that you start all over again. Or is that going to be really upheld?
That could be challenged.
That
Yeah,
could be
that's-
challenged
yes.
because they could say, like Renee said, why don't you test them on competency-based to see where they're at? And if they're meet a certain criterion, then you should give them credit for
It might
courses.
have to be several competencies.
Right.
Yeah, it would
Right.
have to be, I mean, if it's been second year, it's got to be several competencies.
Oh, yeah.
So when
It's a lot of
we're looking
competencies that-
back at this, you know, because I feel some of the tension in the room. But at the same time, it would be very helpful to further define dental hygiene care 1 and 2. Those are the courses that don't tell me anything. Periodontology does. Dental materials does. So I would love to see us do something with these either by the name, by the course description, and part of it's just to see how many of us actually have both 1 and 2, and what we do in there.
Okay.
So much.
Move forward.
Yeah.
It's in the description, so
Okay.
different from each other. I think right now the
Chair?
is almost identical.
That's fine. That's
No,
fine.
no.
What? What'd you say?
Just move forward.
Let's go. Where are we going from here?
Yeah, we did look at these too.
So, do we want to look at, we've got dental hygiene care 1 and 2. Are we okay with those course descriptions, or do you want to look at those
The
two,
ones that we
Renee?
said were too similar.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys do in those courses? I'll describe what we do, and then
Special needs.
I think some of this happens in preclinical for some of you. So in our dental hygiene care 1, it's a summer course between first year and second year. We do medical emergencies management as far as conditions that would relate to a medical emergency or dental emergency, and advanced instrumentation in that we just introduce, well, let me step back. We introduce ultrasonics in preclinical. So in dental hygiene care 1, we expose the students to other technologies, intraoral camera, caries detection, believe it or not, we even do a little bit with anesthesia, nitrous oxide, pain management is in there, pain management, piezo, the other technologies. So there's a big technology piece, and there's medical emergencies. But I think some of the programs do some of those things in preclinical.
We
don't have time to do it pre-clinic.
No.
We don't do it.
We're pretty well.
When do you do it, Renee? When, between your senior and?
Between the first and second year, our summer. Some of you guys have summer clinicals. We do it's a hybrid course that the students do online, and then they come on campus for like a week concentration of pain management labs, and we also do the Nomad
We do that
X-ray
in radiology.
units. We expose them to. They have their basic, They work with phosphor plates in radiology. We expose them to a different type of scanner. It's heavy on the technologies.
We introduced laser.
In the summer between year 1 and 2, so it's the middle.
And which course is this?
This is dental hygiene care 1. Whereas in dental hygiene care 2, we focus that on special populations. So management of the cancer patient, pediatric.
That's what we do.
Identifying child abuse and elder abuse. The other
cardiovascular, diabetes, medically compromised.
Right, COPD, medically compromised, in dental hygiene care 2.
Yeah, and see, we spread it out.
We divide it.
We divide it. Yeah, we divide it into 2. We do some of the medically compromised plus the technology, and then on dental
In
hygiene
these
care.
courses?
See, I do the
Yeah.
same
That's what we
thing.
do.
and then
We
I
divide it out.
continue
We divide it.
to
We
do
do,
as
we
an
do
advanced.
Nomad
Yes.
with
Except
radiology.
we
We
added
just
laser.
finished Nomad.
I think we should change
And
the
then
course
for
description for
one,
because
we
I
do
wanna
the
know how you
medically
suggest.
compromised.
Oh, yeah.
Two,
This is our
the
first
the theory is medically compromised.
So what do you do in dental hygiene care 2?
They, in dental hygiene care 2, she does advanced instrumentation, more of the medical emergencies, medically compromised patients, and more on root morphology and special instruments, all that kind of stuff.
We also do non-nutrition pain management and two.
Pain management.
Yeah.
The outcomes.
Oh,
So
this is gonna be a
what I'd like to
challenge.
see
This is
from,
gonna
I'm
be a
just gonna
challenge.
pop
This is
this
a
out there.
mess.
Okay.
From business and industry is medical emergencies in the dental office. I don't see it anywhere in the curriculum descriptions.
It is.
So we need to decide, I think we need to decide where to put it, because I think that's important.
We do that in dental hygiene care.
Because it's all, it seems, listening, it's all over the place.
We have it
It's
in clinic,
required by
clinic one,
quota.
clinic.
And I can say,
Right.
so we
But I
heard,
mean,
we know
but
it's
not
in
listed.
like a Delmar.
We do too.
I'm the
For
one who,
subscription.
I'm
Coda,
sorry.
it was real big on that.
Like a
It's in Coda,
Delmar,
and all of us
of course,
teach it.
I'm sorry,
I'm
I'm not the
sorry.
instructor there, but I know the instructor who teaches dental hygiene care 1 and 2. It seems like we might be doing it a little different too. I mean, we all do it a little different, right? But I know she teaches, which we teach from Wilkins, all the special needs chapters, she
Right.
divides it. Half of them will be in dental hygiene care 1 and
Right.
emphasizing
That's
it.
what we do.
And the other in the second. Now, everything else you're talking about, a lot of it, like the nomads, anything radiology, actually, and I teach radiology, I teach it that first semester to our first year students. It's all there, digital, it's all there. So when they start clinic, their first clinic,
Right.
they've already been exposed to
Right.
it, and that's what they continue with.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the other, medical emergencies, a lot of that, pain management, a lot of that, what we do is within our clinicals. We'll do little labs before they start seeing patients. We have labs, emphasizing with that, showing that, and then they start their patients. But it's within the clinicals.
So it sounds like with dental hygiene care 1, I mean, even in that structure
It's just focused
and
on
our
special
structure,
needs.
I mean, again, we don't want to be so prescriptive up here at all.
That,
But it looks like, and what David is saying, and when I've watched at the move at the State Board of Dental Examiners, is a very strong emphasis on the management of medical emergencies and emergency plans and all that. So could you see in dental hygiene care 1, could it be, because does anyone do, well, we do, I mean, it could stay just that way, but somehow we could fold in to include the management of medical emergencies or something in that course description.
Which shouldn't logically be under
Pre-clinic,
pre-clinic,
yes,
because
because-
before the
exactly.
student goes into clinic
Yes.
to manage
Yes.
a medical
Just like
emergency.
That's what we
CPR,
have.
that's what should
Yeah.
be.
We have
That's
what we
I
do it.
agree.
We do both.
pharmacology.
Yeah.
We introduce them to
We
the
introduce them,
basic.
but I think the bulk of it needs to be in pre-clinic.
Sheila, you have a question, comment?
I do. I think from listening to everyone, I don't want to be so prescriptive. I agree it has to be there, but where? Because
Right.
we don't want to have it pigeonholed somewhere. And to me, from what we all do, the course description is not really reflecting the technology that you're teaching, and it's not. I think we could come up with.
But
a
it doesn't
more-
need to either. So.
But is it enough to say that if you were looking at that, I could see that in what you're teaching?
Supplemental instrumentation techniques.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
Including.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we,
So I'm just thinking, should we make that a little bit broader term so we could have that in there if we wanted to, but not necessarily have to have it?
And again, I just want to preface this by saying that a lot of us use these courses to expand and do things when we went to the 68 rules. So
Yeah.
that's why they were written as broadly as they are. And I'm afraid if we go changing them and making them any more constrictive,
I'm making it broader.
yeah, I think if we make them more constrictive, that we're going to impact a lot of people that really aren't here today.
Well,
I think we need to think about that too.
but the challenge is when somebody comes to me and
Right.
wants to transfer.
The transfer.
in
And I understand
medical
that.
Dental hygiene care 1, what does that mean?
Right, exactly.
And I'm sorry, and just reading this for me, I mean, of course, my opinion, I don't feel it's about medical emergencies. It's about special needs. Your medically or dentally compromised patients. How do you treat these type of patients? And I mean, to me, that's different from your medical emergency. I don't feel it belongs with these
Yes.
two, dental hygiene care 1 and 2.
Belongs in pre-clinic.
That's somewhere else, but not with these two courses.
But you could see a diabetic patient there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right, that's-
And you're
that's
gonna
a special
talk about
needs. You've
learned how to
manage
manage
That's
Yeah.
a special
Medical
needs patient, but
emergency.
not when you have a medical
Pre-clinic.
emergency, somebody,
Yeah.
all of a sudden they got, they went to syncope, they fainted, a medical emergency.
So Dwayne, could you go back to the
there's
course
a
description for preclinical, please?
Yeah, preclinical.
I think Dr. teaches it as preclinical
Pharmacology, typically that's what it is.
See, there's nothing
Can I ask you,
There's
do
nothing
any
in
of you teach
preclinical.
it in pharmacology?
Wait a minute.
twice.
Ilya, I'm sorry.
Do any of you teach it in pharmacology?
Medical emergency.
Medical emergency?
Well, the drugs obviously.
Some
are-
of them,
are
yeah,
touch
because
base.
medication, yeah.
Because what we do is we actually do preclinic, introduce them to all the medical emergencies, or the doctor comes in and does all that unit. And then in pharmacology, expands on those drugs used for the medical emergency patient.
Right, yeah.
However, our pharmacology is not till the spring semester. So that means it's at the same time that clinic one is happening.
I think that's fine, because the theory is one thing, and you can teach to what specifically needs to happen in a medical emergency in a preclinic area without going in depth in drug.
Which
Like,
is what we do.
This is what you do.
Right.
You got the epi out, you got the ammonium
Yes,
inhaler.
exactly.
You know, boom, 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 boom.
So do we
Medical emergency
want
kit.
that in that preclinical?
No.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that's where it needs to be. That's just my personal feeling.
Yeah,
Only because you don't, why would you have a student go into clinical setting and not know basic medical emergency?
Well, they will if they're CPR certified.
They're CPR certified.
Yeah, they come in.
But they don't know about epi, they don't know about fainting, they don't know about,
First aid.
they know about, the only thing they know is cardiac arrest and angina from CPR, as far as, and Heimlich.
Choking.
And Heimlich. But they don't know hyperventilation, they don't know severe allergies. What do you do with that? Syncope, which is the most common medical emergency.
Okay,
What do you do with that? Even a very healthy patient can faint on you.
Okay, and syncope, isn't that in clinic, in Wilkins also? You know, so we are really teaching it. in
Yeah,
preclinical.
yes. Yeah.
But my thing is, it's not designated anywhere.
Yeah.
Come on, Michelle.
So when somebody
let me tell you,
transfers.
Michelle, I'm sorry.
So when somebody transfers, where is it?
The only other thing, for those of you that are going through accreditation, which she just went through last year, I went through this last time, they were big emergencies. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
Let Michelle talk.
Michelle, I'm trying to do two things at one time.
I teach pre-clinic, and then we teach dental hygiene care 1 and 2. Someone else teaches dental hygiene care 1. So I agree about your language and verbiage. Right when we come back from the holidays in January, the very first topic we go over in dental hygiene care 1 is medical emergencies.
Yes.
Because
That's what we do.
there's so much in pre-clinic, it's like information overload. And so that's why I like to keep it after Christmas, because it's right before they start seeing patients. Because when we come back for Christmas, I make them go through the process of care on each other. And so really they don't start seeing patients from the public till we don't start till the day after Martin Luther King Day. So they don't start seeing patients from the public till like right that first week of February, because they've partnered up with each other and they go through the process of care. They understand what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to stop. That way they're not just jumping in right after the holiday. So, and then by that time, since that's the first lecture in dental hygiene care 1, by the time they see the live patient, we've went over all that material that he is talking about. So
That's what we do.
and so that's where we put it. It's just, I like it there because it's fresh, and it's right when they start seeing the live patients from the public.
Eva.
And just to share, I mean, I know at our school, we actually included as part of pre-clinic that first semester for our first year, because then in pre-clinic they see each other's patients. And that's why CODA, of course, said, you got to have CPR before they even start seeing each other.
Exactly.
So it's done, and we know it's overwhelming, but it's something they need to know, because like Dr. Ardegan was saying, well, even with that student patient, what if something happens to that patient and they're not, at least to be a little familiar with something. Of course, instructors were there because we're supervising them, we should be there. But I don't know, again, my opinion, it should be taught that, right in the beginning of the semester. So if I have somebody transferring over, I would like them to have been exposed to some, medical emergencies as well in the beginning.
Exactly, because we have dental hygiene care 1, their second year.
Us too. Actually, the second semester.
Okay, but when
Actually, no, second year, second year.
when we look at a student transcript, I don't know about y'all, but when I look at a student transcript, I look at the syllabi from every course and see where there's a deficit. Because I don't care what we do, y'all, there's going to be a deficit somewhere. There is going to be a deficit somewhere. And I think we need to, again, keep these broad, because we're not just looking at my program or your program. We're looking at the state of Texas and what's best for the state of Texas. We've all had to make these changes for the 68 hours. And so we've got things that are kind of stuck here and stuck there. And, I think unless we're going to redo the whole Wacom system here, that
Well, the only issue, I think, I don't know if Wacom doesn't have it anywhere, then
Yes.
I think the state board is not going to ever have confidence in any additional
That's a good
scope.
point.
Scope of practice.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You're right.
So I think obviously we don't want to go with another course in nursing management, which I know I've seen other programs have.
Right.
Because we can't afford the hours.
Exactly.
The credit hours. But I think it needs to be.
And who's to say you can't go to hygiene practice 1 or preclinical? Well, you can stick it in both of them.
And
Make it in multiple
reinforce it.
courses.
Exactly.
But the
and
overarching theme that is before a student goes into clinic.
Yes.
That is my point.
Right.
Just to add in there, foundational knowledge for performing clinical skills in medical emergencies.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Foundation.
And that way it's preclinic, and then because DH1 is not, DH Care 1 is not your second semester, it is in some of ours, but that would be, I think preclinic is the
most logical.
logical, and then you can add to the others.
Yes.
And we do that.
Right,
Yes.
sure,
We
I
do
mean,
that.
we do too, so I mean,
But if you made clinic care 1, because this one says foundational knowledge, so you could say something like building on the foundational knowledge that would include care of medically compromised patients, advanced instrumentation. So you're really just expanding the dental care 1 to add all these pieces in a very generic way. Instead of, because all you say is special or medically compromised care
Yeah,
and instrumentation. So I think if we take that and we broaden it, then you could put it there if you wanted to, because you're.
But I agree with what David's saying and what you're saying. I think if we put the verbiage of medical introduction or something of medical emergencies here, and then we go back to dental hygiene care 1 and talk about expanding on special populations. We all do that.
Yeah.
We do it in a little different way, but we all do it.
but we all do that.
If you put it there, though, everybody has to have it there.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
but
As far as
You're
but
like,
there's other people that are not
yeah,
putting
I'm
DH
with
Care
her.
1. I don't, because not everybody offers DH Care 1 the
Right.
second semester.
Exactly.
See,
But if you put it, what was your verbiage?
Foundational.
What did you say?
Just say foundational knowledge for performing clinical skills in medical emergencies on patients with emphasis on procedures. So you're doing just a foundational. I mean,
It's
just
just
an
a-
introduction
and that's like
of what
It
you
can
do.
be. It can be.
It can be CPR.
It could be CPR. It could be a lot of things.
They come in with CPR though.
No, we make our classes.
Well,
All
ours do
programs
too,
are requiring
but
CPR.
still,
come in
there
with
is some
CPR. We
point
make it
in
to go to
pre-clinic where we go through the Wilkins
Have to
book,
come in.
and Wilkins talks
Medical
about
emergencies.
an emergency, a medical emergency. You go over the basics
Yeah.
in your lecture class, if
Yeah.
nothing else.
Anaphylaxis shock.
Yeah.
It's
You talk
all
about
it's all in that
anaphylaxis.
chapter. I used to teach pre-clinic,
Health
but it's all
history.
in there.
It's in the health history chapter.
Exactly. It's
in
all
the
there.
health history chapter of Wilkins.
Yeah.
You talk about, when you're doing the health history, you talk about those types of things. That could be how your program addresses that.
Yeah.
Okay?
We're not getting specific about what's
We're not
covered.
getting
We're just
specific
saying
how you do it.
foundational
Yeah.
knowledge.
it's
Yes.
I'm an
Jackie.
American Heart Association instructor, and I believe you should make it more
clear, if you want to get respect of the board and get a, more advanced abilities to do more expanded duties and make it where they know that every student that comes out of a hygiene program has a healthcare provider CPR certification, has first aid certification, has stop the bleed certification, and maybe even expand to OSHA certification, because all my high school students have that. Right. I mean, so
but
that's
in
a
our
basic
standards.
thing.
That's in our standards, so that's
well, it
part.
sounds like some people are requiring CPR before.
No, we have, everybody has to.
Everybody has to have it.
Yeah, they do. That's required for licensure.
Yeah.
So our students have to have it before they start working on
first aid
patients.
as well?
Or each
See,
other.
I think if you did the first aid courses.
No, we don't have room in our curriculum for the whole
But it's
first
already
aid.
in the Wilkins book, all the stuff. You could just do the
It's in a first
certification.
aid
It would
course,
cover
yeah.
all of it.
Yeah, but that's a separate course.
Yeah.
We really and truly don't have room
We
for
went to
that.
68 a lot.
Already being
We
taught,
lost a
that
lot.
sounds like.
Yeah.
It is. And
I was like, it's all the same stuff.
everybody gets
Everything.
certified before they start
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
each other. And
Basically the dental patients. So,
Pressure
I mean, we're
bandages
looking
for
for
bleeding.
the
For CPR, but not
emergency
first aid.
treatment for the
Dental
dental
patient.
patient.
I know,
So,
I didn't get it either until I got
Any
into
dental
hygiene
patient.
school.
Right.
Just the medically
Oh.
I
So,
got a question.
It would be very helpful.
How many people teach preventive their very first semester, the first fall semester?
I make
well,
my goodness one.
doesn't,
I do too. Would that medical emergency be better in that? I mean, I don't know, because it's
I'm still thinking it needs to be in preclinic.
Mhm.
But like I said, Michelle, you can address it in your preclinic lecture. I know somewhere they go over health histories, correct?
Just like the
There it
third or
is.
fourth chapter.
Yeah, there it is.
Does anyone have, like, before we come back full on, we have orientation before every semester,
Yes.
and we do
That's when we do
all the medical emergencies. I mean, you can't really count that.
No.
You know, but we go over
Well,
it.
and I think that's why we, Carrie's point, to address it somewhere in these course descriptions, so that when we go to the Texas State Board of Dental Examiners, it's there somewhere.
Yeah.
And
That's a good idea.
I like
saying
Cindy's
is that's such a
idea.
good idea.
Do we want to take a vote on changing the verbiage? Cindy?
Yeah, I like it. I like the idea.
To what?
Cindy, would you restate it, please?
Change the verbiage to say foundational knowledge for performing clinical skills in medical emergencies on patients with emphasis on procedures.
Clinical skills.
And
A&D.
Skills and medical
How about
emergencies.
management?
Medical
Management of medical emergencies.
Yes.
Management.
And management.
Management of.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
There you go.
That includes a lot of things.
Very good.
On or for?
Everything.
On patients or for patients?
There you go.
For patients.
For patients.
For patients.
It's not so generic.
Okay, all those in favor of changing to what you see up there?
Knowledge for performing.
All those for? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
That sounds still kind of
Okay.
a little weird. I'm still
Passes. Two votes against.
foundation knowledge.
Next. Okay, so this is so where do we need to go next?
Well, are we changing
Dental hygiene
anything in
care
dental
two.
hygiene care 1 and 2?
Dental hygiene care 2.
Well, we need to go to one first.
Let's go to one first.
I thought we were going to leave it as.
Could you say, I'm just going to go back, could you say something like principles of medical emergencies? Because if you said medical emergencies, it sounds like you're teaching it, all of it.
We
So
just
if you
said
say-
management.
Management.
Okay,
So foundational, beginning.
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That sound better for you?
Foundational knowledge of performing
I'm
clinical
giving a
skills
little.
and-
I know, we
Yeah.
all have to.
I just wanted something not as strong, so
Uh-huh.
to give people management to me though does sound like the whole
The
management.
whole thing.
Yeah, it
Where I would
does.
rather have principles or something that would be,
And principles of
well,
medical.
you can talk
medical
about the
emergency.
chapter with the history and bring that in, but it doesn't mean I'm giving them, they'd come out. And to me, management means I would be confident when I
finished,
I
teaching
agree.
the whole
Have a
thing.
handle.
Which you should be because you're going into clinic.
No, this is pre-clinic.
I know, but
Yeah.
it's taught in pre-clinic, so that's getting you prepped for clinic, because we see patients when we come back. the
But
first
I
week-
think students need to be, I think they need, the management piece, I think it needs to stay because I used to talk to students, I said, when you're seeing a recare patient, when the dentist doesn't have to be present, you're it.
Yep.
You're going to be the provider of that emergency. You got to manage that.
Okay, so read
And-
this. I'm sorry, David, go ahead.
Whether and it's usually going to be grandma or grandpa taking their kid to the recare appointment, and they're out in the waiting room having some issue.
But if you dissect this sentence and read it, foundational knowledge for performing clinical skills, back that up. Foundational knowledge for management of medical emergencies. All you're learning is the foundational part of managing.
True.
That's the way I read it.
Yeah, and I just see it as, what is the process? Because if we're teaching our students how to manage a medical emergency, however, they are not in charge. It's always like, we have code 9, get the dentist or get an instructor.
But the knowledge needs to be, and it needs to be emphasized in case you are the sole provider. Once you graduate this program, get a license in Texas specifically, what are you going to do? It needs to be incorporated, that
It's what we
knowledge.
want our students to graduate with.
Yeah, once they graduate, because it's progressing as we go through the courses, but in pre-clinical, it doesn't mean that they need to know everything or be competent.
Well, yeah.
No.
Because they're not even competent in clinical skills.
That's right.
That's what's
They're not even-
foundational.
I mean,
That's right. It's foundational.
Yeah, exactly.
So Sheila, are you wanting
It's an
something
intro.
like in the introduction of the principles?
No, I'm okay with
Yeah, 'cause it's
stressing
just
the
managed.
foundational knowledge. I just didn't want to, my whole goal is not pigeonhole anybody into anything.
Yes,
And I
I
was
agree.
afraid that was pigeonholing some people somewhere, whether
Yeah,
it's
'cause
whoever it is. I just
Right.
don't want to pigeonhole something in a course that we can't have the flexibility with.
I agree.
We kind of introduce it in pre-clinic, but we do a whole
Yeah,
series.
Exactly, that's what we do.
So
So do
next
we.
semester.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
And then
that's
again,
what everybody
involvement
has to
semester.
do.
And I agree it's important. I mean, there's no doubt
Yes.
that
Yeah,
they
it's-
have to have it in.
Well, and I think all of our programs
That's what I do.
advance as we go up to the clinicals.
Like to
That's,
fresh, like right.
it's required in CODA, so, you know, that's how,
And
that's
it's
how
on
we
boards,
work.
so
Yeah.
on boards.
Do you want to add the word legal and ethical principles? Because don't they kind of usually go together? You hardly
because
talk about
legal
legal
can
without
often
ethical
be
and
the-
ethical without
in the
legal.
last section of like practice.
That's kind
or-
of practice management.
That's
more.
practice
Practice.
management.
We have legal.
You know, like getting them ready for licensure and
Just saying that they usually go
jurisprudence.
together.
and
I know it's in that other one, but I'm just saying, usually you don't talk about ethics without legal.
Ethics is.
I take ethics at this
No,
point.
you can
And if
separate
you
that out.
don't,
Yes,
there's
I'll take
Ethics
ethical.
is a whole other,
It's completely,
and they're based
They're
on
overwhelmed in
laws.
pre-clinic.
which they get before they graduate.
okay,
It's not,
we were moving on to
Just seems like it's a-
dental hygiene care 1.
Actually, that probably still works.
I think it does.
Because medically and dentally compromised can include, I'm thinking of
Medical emergencies.
my world where we're introducing medical emergencies management in preclinical. We do a little bit more in that first semester of clinical, like before we seat patients. And then we go into more detail of pain management and medical management in this course.
Right.
Do we want pain management anywhere or
We do it in
We do it
part
too.
in part 2?
It doesn't say.
Do it in one.
But this it seems to be doing it covers what we're doing. I mean, yeah, we get the technologies in there. But again, thinking like the individual that was wanting to transfer into our program, I basically, because that was a summer course, had it arranged. Now, this person ended up having to be, well, doesn't matter. What I did was I said, okay, one of the contingencies is that you have to participate in the pain management module that summer and successfully pass that exam on that module. Because it was sequenced a little differently. So I just bridged it, the technologies and things, by putting certain, like a contract together that this person would have to meet before they were allowed into second year patient care, so that they were at the same level. So, I mean, it worked.
So, dental hygiene care 1, everybody okay with the description as it stands? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? No? Okay. Dental hygiene care 2? We good with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you guys do in dental hygiene care too? Oh, that, we talked about that already.
Yeah.
Special populations?
Yeah, we continue basically doing like these care.
Yes.
Dwayne, could you go back to that? Okay, never mind.
You want to read it?
Oh, he was going to go back to the.
I've got it right here.
Oh, there it is.
Everything else.
When you go from Care 1, Care 2 to clinic, are y'all going into clinic and doing anything with those special populations?
Doing cases.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was in high school, we went
Okay.
medically.
So it's just a continuation, so do we want the words, and don't shoot me when I say this, do we want the word special populations in there anywhere?
No.
I mean, does that medically and dentally compromised patient say it pretty much?
I think so.
Like the second half of Wilkins? Okay.
That's about
Does that cover
99% of people we see.
communication? Like,
Yeah.
my deaf patients, you know. I really didn't get a chance to
We
learn
learned that's
that
what
way.
we do.
Having deaf patients.
Okay,
That would be
then we have preventive dental hygiene care.
And preventive dental, some people do just the one course. of
Oh, that's right,
preventive,
I remember.
And then some
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
offer
Just do
the
two.
two.
Right. Oh, yeah.
See, we use preventive hygiene 1.
I just do the one.
This is the one that everybody does all over.
You left ours, one for last.
Okay, go to
Here it is.
preventive. Is there a preventive dental hygiene care period?
Yes.
And then there's a preventive dental hygiene 1
One and 2.
Yes.
That's stupid.
It is.
No.
I like it.
Well, let's
I don't
just
think it's
change.
Change the name.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Because the course
We need to change the name somewhere.
Well, preventive
Call
one
it dental
is,
hygiene
if you
one,
just
not
go
take away
preventive one, then
preventive.
it's not comprehensive. And preventive two is not comprehensive. So if you're gonna do the whole thing in preventive,
Oh, okay, that makes good sense.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
I mean, it does sound redundant, but there's.
But it allowed us to
It allows
phase
that,
it.
and it allows that
As the credit
flexibility that
hours.
we need.
Instead of doing a
Okay.
special needs course.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
1227.
So anybody feel like we need to make changes on those 3? Or do we want to leave them as they are because there is a reason for that?
A method to the madness.
There is a method to the madness. I knew there was.
So when they split the
just
two
thinking,
courses,
so
then
if you had
how
a
does someone
student
come in? Do-
That just went to
Exact
college
same
and took the preventive dental hygiene care,
Yes.
the
Right.
1227, and they took
Yeah.
that one course. And then you had someone from another school that had only completed dental hygiene care or preventive 1.
Right.
Then you would have to compare syllabi and
To
then.
see if
just
there's
if they
deficiencies.
had enough to take
But-
the course or have them.
same course description.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say,
Does it
because that's
say-
why we
does
went
it
to
say the
Care
same
1.
sort
We would have to look at the syllabi from that
Yeah.
school.
See
So
what
like
the
AP1 and
content is.
AP2, you got to delineate.
Right.
So the course descriptions are exactly the same, is that what you're saying? From the preventive,
From the,
From all, I think
all three are
of
the
them.
same?
all three.
That's what makes it really confusing.
That's pretty confusing.
Yeah, it was
It
very
is.
confusing, because,
See if I've got that.
Especially
range is
student
significant.
transfer. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
because they're all different.
yeah, they're all
Numbers.
they're all over the place.
They're all different course numbers.
Ooh.
So I'm one of the
Could we
schools
call
that
one of them
does.
that says
So
preventive
who
one and
offers
two?
that course?
yeah.
The
I
preventive
offer.
two
It's the
is,
same, though. It
just
doesn't matter
says
what you call it.
continuation.
What's that?
Like Care 2.
Yeah, it is a continuation.
Continuation.
It just says continuation of one.
So, and the
So if you
description's
have
the
a
same.
preventive 1, you have to have a 2 because.
Yeah, but there's some schools that don't do that.
No.
If you have a 1, you don't
We
have to have a
use-
2.
We
No.
use preventive dental
So
hygiene
you do
care.
a 27?
So if you don't
If you
have
have a
a
1, you
two,
don't
then
have to
there's
have
no
a
sense in
2.
having a
Code
regular.
approved it.
I have a 1.
We use this one.
So that's a good point. Does anybody that does the one course preventive,
We do.
The preventive dental hygiene,
do they just,
one?
they don't?
Like a 27.
call it-
1227.
1227.
We do 1227.
We do
We do 1103.
We do 1227.
And we do
So-
1103. We
Oh,
do
So-
both.
1103.
No one, how do I say it? No one should be using dental hygiene care 1 unless they have dental hygiene care 2
That's what I
in
thought.
their
Preventive?
curriculum.
You mean preventive?
I mean,
Preventive.
preventive, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes, yes.
Well, we are.
We are. We're using just the 1.
We do too.
1103.
We're just
And
using
I
1103.
think that.
It's the exact same
Probably
course
But you do
description as
1227
Then
as well?
maybe, then
No.
maybe.
Oh.
We need to
No.
do something with that.
Right,
No.
and again, I mean, if they're the same course,
If
then
it-
do
Yeah,
we need,
that's,
if you're not gonna, if it's not a prereq for preventive 2, or if it's not,
yeah.
you know, and if it's not separate, then we don't need 1227. If we're not gonna require preventive 2, I guess is what I'm saying, and just count preventive 1, then there's no sense in having a 1227.
We need to do something with the hours or the flexibility.
Take away the one.
Then why not just get rid of the 1?
Take away the one, just do the preventive. Because that's because of the amount of hours.
Yes, the amount of hours. That's the same way
only
for us.
reason.
It allows me to.
Yeah, and
It allows
Because you have that as a
Yeah.
1 hour? Is that
1 hour
so
to
Yes,
it
it's a 1
allows
hour course.
flexibility
1
with
hour
those
left.
hours.
Yes. And
That's
The 1103.
the whole thing with those.
Yeah,
I
and when
do
we
a
went to
1 hour lecture
68,
and a 1 hour
that's all we
lecture.
had left is 1 hour.
I think we
And
need
the course
to-
description was the same, with no prerequisites.
I think we need to leave all 3. Maybe just change the names and maybe the course description a little bit.
Why are
Give a
you
lot
saying
more
you can't have a
flexibility.
1 without, you
I
can't
don't
have a 2
know.
without a 1? I don't know. I mean, I think
See,
we
that's,
can.
I think that's a problem right now. I think that reads incorrectly.
Read down.
I don't know that there's any.
This is preclinical.
No,
No, go to
that
the
says that,
preventive.
Preventive course.
Preventive.
He's been trying to
Yeah,
tweak
that's it.
things
I
as he
know.
goes.
Preventive, go to just preventive dental hygiene.
A 1227 or 1327.
Preventive dental hygiene care is what it's called.
1227, there you
Right
go.
there. That
Okay.
course description is exactly the same as
It's dental hygiene care.
preventive care, preventive 1.
I think the point is that it gives the colleges flexibility to offer it all in one course or to split it up into 2, like 1 hour
Yes.
courses.
And that,
Right,
That's
but
what
it
the description
shouldn't
is
be, there shouldn't be someone using just, I mean, there's gotta be some way we can do with the hours or
Yeah.
something, so
But-
that somebody's not just using 1 without
And
the
not
2.
2.
We do.
But it'd be like having ANP 1. They wouldn't have all the content unless they do ANP 2.
Not necessarily.
But I mean, the
Because that's how our
concept
brain
of the
was-
1
Yeah,
to
it's the
2.
concept.
It implies a
Nomenclature.
second.
Yes, yes.
The
they-
implementation.
what is the range of preventive
You
2?
can't be, can't.
No,
don't have
preventive
that
1,
other-
preventive 1. What is the
1
upper
1
range?
1
32 to 64.
We can't, because we have bound.
Preventive 1.
So can that one be
Okay,
adjusted
so
with
it's
the
a 1 or
time?
2.
Got it.
So-
Now I was having trouble
But what we end up doing is we do the 1
Right.
semester hour, but we do we max out our,
Your contact
Got your
hours.
contact hour.
That's-
So is there any way we could put just 1 semester credit hour with the other?
It is.
No,
No,
no.
1227.
1227.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
No,
like,
because some of us already use 1227.
Well,
That's
she
fine.
said maybe she
Keep-
could get
Oh,
an
yeah, you could add-
1127.
yeah.
Can you do 1120?
I can do 1127 because it's 1
that
contact
was
hour.
one that 5 years ago or whatever we got rid of, and I think we need to put it
Does
back.
anybody
Yes.
do 13?
The 1.
Does anybody do 1327?
No.
We used to until we had to cut our hours.
Yeah.
Right.
So why couldn't we get rid of,
No, I
well,
don't
do we
think-
have the course number, I mean, how many people do use it?
Yeah. What are we looking at?
1327?
Yeah, well, we heard somebody if we got rid of that.
There's Glenn and Tarrant.
We used to though.
Okay.
We
but you
don't anymore
Okay, I see,
because
I
of
see, I
our
see.
hour reduction.
Right, right, right.
So Glenn would be Glenn.
I guess we
don't know
do.
if Glenn still uses it.
Yeah, Glenda's still
She had to
using
cut
it.
her
Yeah.
hours.
Let me
too.
look, I'll look up.
Yeah,
Glenda's.
but
up
she's
her
still taking
curriculum.
it. It looks like it. I don't
Looks like
understand
she
the
does.
numbers.
Me either.
Which page are you on, first page?
See, that's what I'm thinking, is we go in there
Oh,
and
here,
create
here.
1127 and 1227.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be
And then make
perfect.
the 1 and
Oh, she don't use it
2
Go
anymore,
one.
she said.
Yeah.
a combo course, or well,
They
do
still
this
use
one,
it.
then you
Plan
continue
is.
it.
You can.
I bet she doesn't use that. I'm thinking because, look, this was
2017. it shows us.
70
Yeah, it
hours.
shows.
That was in the old
Big
days.
cross.
Bet you anything that's.
Oh, gotcha.
Because it,
I don't get this
we have
chart because for some reason we haven't.
see, it's
been
1220, we used to do
Are
1227,
you
now we
looking at
went
the
to
enrollment?
the
It's 14.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the
So,
enrollment
this
at
is
the
just-
college.
this is
the number of
Enrollment,
students.
but I never had 96 students at
Some
once.
of them.
Well, no, this is for the
I'm not there
entire
anymore.
semester.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
still-
showing
they're
that
not
you
right.
don't.
They're not
They're not
accurate.
right, the
Okay.
numbers aren't right.
Okay, it's also, do you split it between lecture and lab?
We're talking
Or,
about contact hours then, yes.
right,
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
so they might be counted double
Right,
in that case.
right, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so what y'all are saying is you want 1227 or 1127,
Yes.
and then
Get rid of those.
1103 or 1203, and then what is the preventive 2 called? We teach preventive 2 because we teach gingivitis in preventive 2 rather than in periodontology.
But
Looks
you
like
don't
Glenn
have a
still uses
preventive one.
1327.
We do preventive
I know
1
it
and
does.
2.
And also a preventive dental hygiene.
No,
care?
perio. We actually, that was
1327 you
in,
mean?
when we went with TWU, because they teach their gingivitis, they do what they call,
I can't find the freaking.
just-in-time teaching. So preventive 2 was designed to teach gingivitis. And then we took that portion of perio out of perio and lowered the credit hours for that when we were 13, 11, now we're 12. And then moved it to preventive 2. So that's why we do it that way.
Okay.
Preventive 1 is what we used to just be in preventive.
Okay.
But our preventive 2 is our pre-perio, basically.
Got it.
I just hope we don't mess up
Find their degree.
Glenn for that 1327.
Yeah. Glenn has 1327 in their curriculum.
Right now.
Where do you see that?
I just looked
Oh,
at
you
it.
found, you got it?
You did, good, 'cause I was having
Okay.
a hard time finding it.
It looks like it was a current one, not an old web page.
So,
But it's 2 years down the road.
Well, why can't you have all three? Why can't you have an 1127, 1227, and a 1327?
Is that possible for the cohort?
Oh,
I don't think so.
No.
Wickham is limited to just a spread of 2 contact hours,
Oh.
credit hours.
Well, that's not nice.
No, well, we try to ask, is a 1-hour course the same as a 3-hour course?
Yeah,
And
that's
like a
strange.
2-hour course the same as a 4-hour course.
You could go to the 1-2
So-
model. But she probably wants to teach it all in the same semester.
Yeah. That's what she's doing.
But you could do an 8-week and an 8-week.
Yeah, I thought about that too, but. Talk about nightmares.
For the greater good.
She's not here to defend herself.
yeah,
I just hate
I hate to do that.
I know.
I really
I'll
do.
come
I
back
hate
too.
to
somewhere,
I hate to do that. That would be a last resort.
Despite the fact that we like this lady.
What is the?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's logical. This is a logical move.
It really is.
Mhm, it really is.
And the hour range for preventive 2 is 1 and 2, right?
it. Right. Oh, wow.
I mean, it's 2 years, you give her a heads up.
Well, and there's public
11:27.
comments that can occur
You could
too.
have- what-
Because
That's
who,
true.
who
She
else
can
is
comment.
not represented?
She can
what
comment,
is it that
they
they're
can comment.
Oh, a lot of us.
A lot of us are.
A lot of
Under the
people.
law
Community college?
from you.
Amarilla's not here.
I'm lost as to
Oh,
what
it's
she
your
said.
sticky
It's
tag.
my
Colin's not here today.
I'm lost
Oh,
on
it's your
the-
name tag.
Temple's not
We
here.
won't know who you are.
Temple's
Colin's
not
right here.
I know, that's what I just. Temple
Yeah.
does
Right,
1227
right.
though.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was thinking of Joanna.
I know, I get them both
Uh-huh.
confused too.
Lone Star's not here.
Just for clarification, so what are we proposing or what are we thinking about? Just for clarity?
Changing 1327 to 1127.
As an option.
As an option.
Because right now, a lot of people use 1227.
So have
But
those-
it would allow the option.
Of just the one course.
And don't have a 1 or a 2
Because
and all
people
that.
are using that, correct? That configuration?
And don't have a 1 or a 2, is that what you're saying?
No, still have the
Still
one
have the one
and
and
two.
1 and 2 options.
But change the
1
course
hour or 2
descriptions.
hour.
Oh, I thought you meant like the,
You know, you either are doing this or
You're
you're doing a
doing
1
one
and 2.
and a 2. But I'd like to look at,
I just do preventive. 1 and a 2.
And we can only do 2 levels, is that correct?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Within this?
So you wouldn't have, I'm getting this confused.
you wouldn't have 1103 anymore.
Right, I teach 1227.
Is
but
that what is that what we're saying? We would
Yeah.
get rid of 1103.
That's
No.
what we're
No,
saying.
No?
we're getting rid of
13.
2 different
13.
courses, 2
Okay,
different configurations.
We'll just get rid of.
We'd either do this, something in here, or you do preventive 1 plus 2. Because if it's a 1, there's an,
We don't teach 2.
You don't have to.
so what you
Preventive
do,
1227.
you would switch to,
Or-
you teach
Or
1227.
1127.
We
Which I
teach
do
it
in
already.
27.
So you have
Okay.
to have it too.
Or we
She's
could
the one
go
that teaches
to-
preventive dental hygiene care 1, and that's the only course she teaches.
Right.
She doesn't do the 2.
But I do this one and 1103.
Oh,
You
wow.
do 1227 and 1103?
It's the same course description.
I do 1227
Oh.
and 1103.
Wow.
Well, we only do
We just do
1103.
We only do 1103.
1103.
And the course descriptions are different.
See, that's what we're saying. I mean, because if you.
If you look at this or not, they're
Well,
the same.
They're the same.
They're the same.
That's how I was able
I'm
to
glad
dump
you did the
everything
same.
into there.
She
and
did a
justify it.
phasing, it's basically she's phasing stuff.
I just dump stuff in.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just
That's all
dumped it in
we
there.
were looking to dump stuff in.
So,
You had to.
back to the logic of it, if you have AMP 1, your content isn't completed unless you have AMP 1 plus AMP 2. So this is where the logic's coming from, that if you're going to do the 1, there needs to be the second part of it to be content complete, or we need to fix the 1227 so it's complete.
Okay.
I guess, and my question, you say you teach 1103 and
1227.
1227.
Can I see?
Why do you teach 1227 instead of 2233?
21?
22. Well, 22.
That's 21 or 2233.
Oh, be 21.
You can do 1 or 2 hours.
Yeah.
Or it could be a 1203.
Because we might have that too.
Yeah.
Because it is the same
We do think, 2231?
2233.
33.
No, 31 is the
No, we don't have 2233.
I guess my question is, why do you teach 1227? Is that the second
Because
part?
1103 is in the first semester, because we typically had 1337, 1327, and we went to 2 hours and the 1 hour.
But you
So
can do
you
that
got your
with,
three.
Because
but you can do
contact
that with
hours.
2233.
But you can do that with 1203 and 2133.
Or the reverse, 1103 or 2233.
I'm sure I could.
Which is
same.
what we,
Yeah.
which is what we did.
I'm sure we
We were
can.
in a similar
I'm sure
situation.
we
with
can.
you.
Just call it
we
a
were
different, different
And we
rubric.
went to
Yeah,
the
as
one
long
to-
as I can have
Yeah.
a 1 hour
it's-
in that
All
semester
you have to do is
and
change the course.
that's all I have to do.
A 2 hour in the other.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. As long as I don't have to change my hours, I'll do anything.
I know.
I know.
We're very confused.
Threw us off right there a
Is
little
there
bit.
Throwing us off.
Is there any way we can
Because they're concerned about their
write the course
semester
description in preventive 1 to indicate that it's the first half of the overall course, so that it could say, that way everybody would have to do both. I mean,
Oh, what would you do?
because
Well,
preventive-
or how do we do
1127.
dental
Yes.
hygiene care 2? Do we say continuation?
no, yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, we
Yes.
did?
In care 2?
I think it already has.
No, that's preventive.
No, I know, no.
Preventive
But
does
I'm
say
talking
the
about
same.
dental hygiene
It
care
does say
2. We had-
It does say the same.
It says, yeah, dental
continuation.
hygiene care
I'm
2
not
says a
very good.
continuation
Yeah.
of dental hygiene care 1.
It already
Yes.
has that.
Because they're not making sense.
But
But,
it doesn't mean that you have to do it.
okay, so do you
Yeah.
think we need to? I
Doesn't-
guess is my question. Do we
More
need
specifics.
to force that?
No.
Okay. So you think it's okay to just have the first half?
But see, if I had somebody transferring in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd either want them to have the
Yeah.
1227
Right.
or
Both.
1 plus 2
Yeah.
Right.
I
to
would
get
too.
all the
I would
content
too.
in.
Exactly.
However, the syllabi configured that, but that would be my expectation. If somebody's transferring into my program and I have a 2-phase, then I would expect that they'd either have to come in with 1227 or whatever course number we want to call it, or 1 plus 2.
Yes.
I agree.
I think
would
that's
too.
the issue.
Unless you just pulled up the syllabus in
Right.
1103 and saw that it covered everything included. So, I mean, you still could check the syllabus.
Oh, absolutely,
Oh, yeah, you'd
but
have to
I'm just saying
anyway.
it would be a lot cleaner.
It's cleaner, yes.
It would be cleaner.
It's like
would
the,
be.
it's like the AP1, AP2 issue.
Right.
I mean, I don't let anybody come in with just AMP1.
No.
Right.
Well, I guess to clarify your question, we
if these two
not necessarily change the course description, but we can change it in the
is taken,
outline, in the curriculum outline.
work for like their transfer.
Here to say preventive dental hygiene care, 1327, or these two.
Ah, and then,
Just don't
then
follow.
So it'll be like this.
Yeah, but a bunch of people use 1227.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we
you
Well, no,
can't
that's
do
fine.
that.
That's what he's saying, just
Okay.
do
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Debbie has
Okay,
a
so-
comment. Debbie?
okay.
Oh, Connie.
Okay, so are we now removing 1127?
No.
No. Okay, as long as we have 1127, where I can have all of the content for-
Yes.
and let it be on my syllabus.
Yes.
But only be able to give 1 credit hour.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
that's,
Right, that's.
so what he was
We're
saying
adding.
was
You
can add a lab hour,
1127 or
So what is
this
the
other
lab
2
hours?
courses.
Yes.
Well, we're just
So that they would take the other 2 courses.
So if somebody's
he's just
doing a
making
3-hour
it
course now, they have to do 2 courses instead
So
of
one.
one.
And they could.
And you can.
That's not that big a deal.
Yeah, if you got the credit hours, you
Right.
can.
Right.
Yes.
And if we don't, we'll just do it.
Yeah, just dump everything into 1127. It's just another dump.
1 and 2.
Okay. So there is a.
Hey,
Yeah,
that
like
works.
you absence
It's
to
what
it.
it
That's
feels
what
like.
happened.
You don't have to do 1
Exactly.
and 2.
Or you can
Do
just
this
do
one.
like
You're getting 1 credit hour, but you'll be here
So
for
when's
X
that
amount
one
of time.
that,
Because now you have a lab.
Okay, y'all good.
We discussed.
So you need to
Yes.
change the hours.
That's I'm totally good, but
1 to 2
I got it.
instead of
Okay.
2 to 3.
Okay, so
Because we've got to get you.
the question is, do we need to go all through all of these and figure out what we want to do before we go back and
We
vote?
don't have many left. Oh.
yeah, I want to make sure what Dwayne's doing here as far as for preventive dental hygiene care. So it has to be the option of 1 or
the other 2.
Yeah.
So shouldn't it say DHYG 1-27 and DHYG 2-27 up above there, Dwayne?
No. No. He's giving you the over here on the right-hand side, he has 2 hours or 3 hours for 1x27, right? The second option is to take preventive dental hygiene 1 and preventive hygiene 2. The third option would not be there.
Oh, I got you.
But,
I'm sorry.
you
I
don't want
gotcha.
to keep that at 2, 3.
No,
Because we
no,
wanted
that
a
needs to
1.
be 1, 2.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
right.
it's 1, 2.
But we just said that it didn't have to be 1 and 2.
No, it's an or.
No, it's an or.
It's an or.
Or read what it's saying. It says or preventive dental hygiene 1 and
Yes.
preventive
Correct.
hygiene.
That's what
Right.
I wanted to say.
Right.
But I thought we said that you could have 1 without 2.
No,
No.
no.
You can
That's
have
the thing that
preventive
we're saying.
Or
what we're trying to
1 and
fix.
2.
That's what we're trying to fix.
Okay.
And then I guess, Dwayne, what would you, I guess below, you would list those other 2 and put the contact hours out there beside that?
That's
we
in a
need to-
different,
Because we'll
different
need, okay,
chart.
it's a different chart, okay.
So that makes sense, because like we do, I think 1103 and 2133, so, and we do a credit and a credit. Okay, so my max is 2.
So those are
But
are
you
the
can
ones that
take
want
one
to
and,
do.
if you can possibly, potentially, if you wanted to, make a 2-hour preventive 1 and a 2-hour preventive 2,
that'd be
or a
4.
1 and 2.
Right.
So,
It allows.
that's an
allows
option.
some
It allows for
flexibility.
that,
It
okay.
would
It allows
help, I mean, Lisa would be able
Yeah.
to make
Right,
that
Oh, yeah.
Right, she could do that.
Glenn would have to change that.
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so the question before us is, we're going to delete 1327, add 1127. Okay, all those in favor?
Hang on a second. So what is he doing?
Me.
Okay, got it.
All those in favor?
1327 and what?
We're deleting 1327, look right up there, and we're adding 1127.
Right.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, that one passed. Now what we're doing is we're going to, where are we going? 1227?
No.
1103.
1103.
We're saying you have to teach 1 and 2.
Hmm?
Right. So for that one, we're saying you have to teach, if you do 1, you have to do 2.
Right.
But is it clear from the statement that we have to?
So we
Not only ask that because we had a lot of people with 1 and
description.
2, so if we're going to
Yes.
make it, we need to.
We need to make it very clear.
I think what he's trying to do is not change it in the description, but put it in the outline of the
Okay.
curriculum.
That's
so that
fine.
I mean, I don't know if that's clear or not, but I think that's what he's.
That's what that
we're-
says,
You're
yeah.
thinking, right, Dwayne?
So the description for preventive dental hygiene care 2 say something like a continuation?
Yes, it does.
It does it already say that?
Yes,
Okay. I never saw
And
that
then-
description.
Right here.
it does.
So really,
Continuation. Uh-huh.
There it is, okay.
So would you leave the course description for 1103 and 1203 the same
Yes.
as
1227.
1227?
yes,
Why
yeah,
is
because
that
it's either that or,
Prerequisite? 1201? What is 1201?
Oh, that.
1201 is or 1.
It's 1203.
Yeah, it's 1203.
Okay.
Okay, so we're having then,
yeah, so then that shouldn't, the course description should match
right,
1227.
yes. Should you put up there with the course description, must continue to,
This is a 2-part course.
it's a
First
2-part
half,
course or
first
something
half,
like that?
Yeah.
Is that, do we
Part
do
1
that
of 2.
anywhere else in curriculum?
No.
No.
But it already says continuation, so that would be a
Yeah,
2.
but when you're just looking at preventive courses, you're gonna see preventive 1 and think that you could offer preventive 2 without preventive 1.
Right, because continuation doesn't mean
right,
that you have to
right.
take it.
You need, I think there needs to be something there.
But it's not done anywhere else, so
Yeah, it's not done in the dental hygiene care 1 and 2.
And it's not
Or
done in
other
clinic 1 and 2,
disciplines.
is it?
It doesn't
So,
say that.
right.
But then you
Either
guys
of
don't have
those.
to, you both, I mean, everybody doesn't teach 1 and 2. And this one, you want them to take 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But I agree that when you're looking at these and you're trying to figure
It's hard
out
to-
how you
Yeah,
can
unless
crunch
there's
everything, you're
something
just
up
going to
there.
take something that looks good.
I think so too.
But if it's not done across disciplines, it's going to be hard to set that
If you're looking at a
precedence.
course, if you're looking at putting that in your curriculum, you could put preventive 1 in there without preventive 2, which we wanted to avoid. But if you're looking at the course description for preventive 1 and the preventive, they're both the same. And
Right.
they're both the same credit hours.
Right.
So I guess maybe, hopefully, you would choose the one that doesn't have the number beside it, since the only thing I can think of is that you could put the word comprehensive with preventive care, just preventive.
12
Or
for
introductory
1227.
and continuation.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Prereq to preventive 2.
Comprehensive study. or-
Like change the description of preventive
Maybe that's what.
Continuation.
care, dental
Or is
hygiene
this
care,
just
Yeah, that's what it
prerequisite
is.
course
Yeah.
description?
Uh-huh, I like that.
to reflect. that
Okay,
it's
so go to
comprehensive.
1227 and 11, right there? Right there.
Yeah, so
Okay, so do we want to put,
the comprehensive
of
study.
course, the role of dental hygiene?
Comprehensive study of the
the role
role.
of dental hygiene.
Yes, that's great, Cindy.
Yeah,
Comprehensive study
Is it always comprehensive though for everyone, or is
Say
that
the
an
whole
introductory
program
course?
comprehensive?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a comprehensive course.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
so
Not
delete
until you get
that.
through.
Very true.
When you're
I think
walking
you're
out the door for
pigeonholing us.
graduation.
Delete
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
So what's
You
a
have
better word?
arrived.
It's a good idea though.
What's another word for all encompassing?
Inclusive.
What?
Yeah.
Where's my thesaurus?
It really isn't gonna be one, because if we, it seems like if we
Yeah.
No
put
matter
it
what you
in
put there.
one subject, then are we putting it in every
Yeah.
subject? Because
Yeah.
what is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
com-
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I think
There's
if we want
some
to fix
wiggle
a
room.
course description, we
there's
need to
just
do
not
a
gonna
preventive
be
dental
any.
hygiene 1. The first of a
Part
two-part.
one,
Yeah.
part two.
Ah, there you
So
go.
leave this one alone.
Yeah.
Leave that one alone. Never mind. Sorry, Dwayne.
Never mind.
So going back to 1103,
Yes.
Part one of two.
Part one of
the
two.
first part of a two-part or
That's probably a better
two.
Yes.
How,
The
How would you say
introductory
that?
and more advanced.
Part one must be part two, part one and two
Of
must be
a-
taken.
Part one of a two-part
If you just put the,
course.
on number 2,
course configuration, two-course series.
more
two-
advanced, where the first one, because you would know for a more advanced course, you wouldn't take that alone without the
Well, and when you go to the
Basics.
course itself, it has whether you can put it introductory or
Mm-hmm.
or intermediate
Yeah,
or
but-
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like how, and fortunately
go.
our board
There you
scores.
go.
That's it.
There it goes, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Dwayne. That's
Do we
it.
need to put part two of a two-course sequence on
Well,
preventive two?
Yeah, why don't you do that? That would.
That makes sense.
Well, you
Put
could,
it at the end like you did on the
at the
first
end.
one.
At the end, that, yes,
Right there.
and just, you know,
I guess
Part
my
two
question
of
is,
two.
you're already saying that it's a continuation.
Just
Yeah.
put
So,
prerequisite.
I mean, we could take that out and just say part 2
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
part 2, or whatever.
It's like people want to eat lunch now.
So you don't need a course description.
Okay, I'm
Sounds like
hungry.
people want to eat lunch, whatever.
Okay, all those in favor of that up there, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
You don't need more of a course description other than that? That's good enough?
Because you're at your college level,
'Cause you have to
ours
go
is called
back.
published notes. So we'll have this as the first, that's the STEM, and then we might further describe it.
Okay, but that's enough.
But we
to
have
meet
to have the
everybody's-
STEM in our course descriptions.
And then our published
Verbatim.
notes, we might say something like emphasis on pain management or
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. Are we done with preventive?
Time for a break.
Time for a break?
It's
Can we
12:00
break?
have left.
It's 12:02.
Lunch is here.
Okay, let's break for lunch. Anybody opposed?
And you want to call the time?
12:02.
12:02, we come back in what, 45 minutes?
45 is good.
12:45.
12:45? 12:47?
Okay, we're on.
Okay, we're on.
So,
Where do you need to go next? So, did we think we saw the preventive dental hygiene care to everybody? Yes. So then, where do we go now? Special topic? No.
okay, so
But those are all just, they're whatever you want them to do, yeah.
Are we gonna, talk about the clinic courses, course description,
We did that.
okay, we did assign like topics. Like here we have the 3 clinical courses, and so we did describe them as healthy, and then mild to moderate, and then moderate to advanced. Is that sufficient? Like, don't know. Is that sufficient that they will understand what's covered under each clinical?
Does this go back to we have clinic, it's not clinic 1, 2, 3, you could have like clinic, you could have 4 clinics.
Right, and I guess what I want to point out, we were talking about earlier, so far we only have 30 to 42 hours, again, depending on if you take the 3 or the 4 hour course. So this still gives, we have up to 53 hours in the major.
But we decided it wasn't. There was a reason why I decided. Because some people don't have it. Some use biology nutrition. So we didn't put that up there.
So I'm not.
That's when you were out.
I know, but I guess my question is that. So we don't have a weapon course?
No, we do.
Okay. That's all we know.
We do.
And then this weekend have a clinic for, right? I have a summer clinic.
Yes. Yeah, what I was saying is, yeah, we have up to 42 hours, so you have up to 11 hours where you can add courses or,
Correct.
specialized courses.
So you could add another.
So you have to have 53.
No, you do not have to have 53. Okay,
Right.
there is no minimum the number of hours that you have to have in the program of study. Okay, you do
Right.
not have to have 53.
Right.
There is not even a minimum that's stated, and I specifically asked that question last time. Is there a minimum? No.
I mean, if I wanted to have a summer clinic course, what would I call it? Because most of us do have summer.
I know,
Well-
we have,
And ours is 1, not 2, so
where did that course go, y'all?
what would I do the summer?
We had a,
Just call it open summer.
we had
something in there, I just don't know
we
what it
had
is.
another clinical course that we put in there as an optional, in the optional section. So I don't see it anywhere on here.
No.
And we had put that in an optional section.
Was that one of those that would add in 2 hours based on each person?
Right.
Oh,
So it didn't have to go.
It didn't have to go in there. It was 1260.
clinic, 1260, that was,
No, 1261 is clinic.
that was 2163. Because we started out with 2161 and 2164 in the summer.
What is yours called, Sheila?
I have I think 11, I call it clinic 2, and then I have clinic 3 and clinic 4. But my clinic 2 is just the summer, it's just one credit hour.
What's the number?
11, I think it was 1161.
And mine's 2161. The one we teach is 2161.
Right.
And it's called clinical dental hygienist 2
In the summer?
in the summer.
Yeah, it was 1161 was the one.
We do 1261 and it's clinic 1.
Okay, she has a note here, we had the one with the 60 at the end, yeah.
Yeah, it was 60.
Yeah, called it an open.
That was an open that we could do in the.
That's right, it had the 0 at the end.
So the 1260 is open?
Yes, 1260, yes.
So do we have to do the grade
Number.
Yeah.
We have to grade that when you're in with them?
It's already.
It's on Wacom.
Okay.
But
Oh,
see,
you need to-
I'm confused as to
Okay.
where,
I thought the
why
following
it's
line.
not on here.
Because we don't have to have it. It's just like.
Right. Just like nutrition.
I guess so, just like.
Nutrition.
But you're gonna call clinical dental hygiene hygienist one, the spring course. You're gonna leave it at 1261 or you changed it to 1260?
It's one that is optional.
But are you leaving it at 61 or 60?
Because we have.
61.
Okay,
So then in the summer,
The general nutrition class, just a regular dental nutrition. It could be general or it could be your
1260,
hygiene nutrition.
yeah,
like us.
1260
We
is the
have
open, that's what I have.
Yeah, so we have it too, so,
Is
but,
That's the option.
but see, that's
okay,
why,
1260.
Would be the
right now
option.
we're at 31, so you have
If you want
room
to put it in the
to
summer,
please
we'll do
the
it.
mandatory. The mandatory, there you go, the mandated ones, there you go.
So does Wickham require us to go in numerical order?
I don't think so.
It's not a Wacom.
Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
0, 1.
Yeah.
The course description for 1260 allow you to notice whatever it is.
where is it? Let's see.
It's the same, it's the
It's
same.
here. It's the same thing.
Yeah, there's nothing specific in the course descriptions in the WECM for the clinicals.
So it's just the titles that tell us the difference.
Right, it's the titles that you assign. I mean, even the titles in the WECM are not specific.
Yeah, I use it.
Right, you assign the titles to these courses.
And that's what's going to tell us.
But,
Right.
like here, where we have the descriptions, it has 1160, 1260, 1360, and so forth. It has course level intermediate. That's
Well,
what
and that's,
it does have.
I think it's because the database doesn't allow multiple levels.
They all say.
They all have the same course description.
So I mean, it could be intermediate or advanced, I guess is what I'm saying.
So you would assign, what you're saying is where it says healthy maintenance to slot period all reviews, that's not necessarily going to be the 1260?
No, that's got to be 1261.
So is there a description for that?
On 1160, there is.
What's this course description for 1260?
Well, it says a health-related work-based learning experience that enables a student to apply specified occupational theory, skills, and concepts. Direct supervision is provided by the clinical professional.
They all say that.
And then it's got end of.
No,
end
there's
of-
there's no descriptor on it.
Okay.
That's what you're asking, I'm
Yes.
sorry. No, there's no descriptor on the 1260.
That's
But
right.
if we pull up, let's say in 3 years from now, and we pull up Weckham, and we pull up the, 1261, let's say, or 2261, will the course title say clinical dental hygienist, healthy maintenance to slide? Will that be in the course title?
No.
No.
That's just on
So we
the-
need to put that descriptor into the course description,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
We haven't done that yet.
Yeah, because all of them have the same
Right.
end of course outcomes.
Right.
That means that all the course descriptions are going to be different. Correct. Will Weckham allow that?
I think that's probably a question we can, I mean, the way it currently is, all of the externals are just a very generic cookie cutter definition type of description, and it's a college that assigns the
So would that go more in the outcomes?
same thing, description, outcomes, title, everything in the WECM is very generic and very
So that would be what you put in your own college
In your
catalog.
catalog, you can put,
How are we gonna communicate? New director comes on, they're starting the new program. How are they gonna know
Sure.
which one is clinic 1, which one is clinic 2, which one is clinic 3?
And
Unless
then
that
and again,
text shows up somewhere. That text.
well, this text will be in the program of study that's published on the website.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you know, just
That's the
as,
question, is how are they gonna know that?
Okay, so this extra clinic that some people are doing
12,
this
16.
summer, okay, is it healthy, mild to moderate, does it matter?
It doesn't specify. It's usually having.
We didn't specify it for a reason, to be flexibility.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So you can just have,
Because
That's why we left it really
that's why
broad
we left it really broad. That's right.
and generic.
So if I'm summarizing again, you can still have 1260. It's not under the program of study. It would be how you use your additional
Hours.
I mean,
right.
Yes, that's what it was.
So the description of helping, it's a slide, that's going to not be in the course description? Where's the lab here?
It'll
Well-
appear on the POS when you go onto the cohort.
that's why I was asking Dwayne. It would be in the.
No, it'll be on-
When they do the POS, that's like a,
Yeah.
when they do that, they'll have to publish that somewhere.
That's going to be a new document that's going to be published that says, okay, this is a
Mhm.
basic framework for programs. Say this is what all hygiene programs
Right.
contain, and then we'll have
Because I've
hours.
never seen this before, that I didn't know. I get it.
Right, that's a new thing.
Yes.
That's all.
Because of the statute.
I get it. I get it.
So, it looks to me like we have everything in our program of study. Am I missing something? Yeah.
You're fine. I wasn't here at the last meeting, and I was just noticing, and I did listen to the webcast, or watched it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was really good. I was like, okay. But for pharmacology, at Del Mar, we do have ours set at 3 credit hours. So since it's set, minimum to maximum 2 to 2, just 2, so that's something that we're probably gonna have to change then. We're gonna
Why
have
does
to,
that say 2 to 2? The minimum should be 3.
or the maximum 3.
Oh, no, because it allows a one,
No, it should say 2 to 9.
it's a 1 hour.
No, it should be 2 to 3.
Not there.
It's 2 to 3.
It's 2 to 3.
2 to 3, okay, so this just needs to be corrected on here, okay. Just want to make sure.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I was concerned.
He's fixing it.
Yay. Okay. Was it pharmacology? Yeah, 2, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
And it should be 2 to 3.
3, 4, isn't it?
No,
It says 2 to 3.
no, that's
What is radiology?
3 to 4.
4.
1304, so 3 to 4.
So it should be a 2, 3, or 3, 4?
Radiology should be 3, 4.
And materials?
That should be a 3, 2.
2, 3.
2, 3.
Wait, radiology said it's what?
3, 4.
It was 2 before, it's 2 before.
No.
It can't be a 2, 4.
No.
It only be
It has to
one.
be only 1 credit.
3, 4.
Only 1 credit hour difference.
I'm looking at code hours, got it, I'm sorry. Lab versus.
Got it. I'm with you. And if I remember from before as well, was community dentistry similar to what we did with preventive, where you either could do the community dentistry, or you could do the 1 and 2, the
Apply. But apply is a different name.
correct. But I mean, in the framework is going to be community dentistry, kind of like, how do we have preventive in the framework? Scroll down.
No, because we didn't put applied in this framework.
Well, then we got to go back to that because I want that in there.
I thought that was one that we were going to do extra, because I think you and I are the only ones.
That was the
That's
optional
an
one. That was the
optional.
optional one.
So isn't that, I mean, if we're typing this up that way, and I'm not sure how Dwayne's typing this, but that's what preventive is like, right? when you scroll down.
No.
No.
Well, the way this is, you
No,
either take this one or this pair.
or those two.
And I guess the question was, is the applied required in every program, or is it just some programs do and some don't?
It's an option.
So that's why it's not.
That's why it's not listed.
It's still an option.
Right.
It's still an option.
Yeah.
Just check it. I know,
It's-
I use it too.
It's like the 1260. It's like the 1260.
Okay, it's still an option.
Okay. All right.
It's like the clinical 1260.
Okay, so back to my original statement.
Okay.
Are we done?
I think so.
And that was basically, I think, the last, from the minutes, it just said, finish the course, look at the course descriptions, and we did that, and then finalize the program of study, this framework. So,
So this will be the mandated.
I just want y'all to look back at the framework and be sure we're not
Missing.
making it irreparable problems, and we're not painting ourselves into a corner.
Can we ask
Yeah.
one quick question before we move on? General education. We see that we have anatomy 1 and 2 and microbiology. Just wondering about chemistry.
Those are optional.
Those are optional, so we
Those are
can.
optional.
Those are all options.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, because I'm still new. Chemistry is an option for the general education, but is it an option for CODA?
Well,
No.
we'll find out in
No, it's not.
April.
It's not.
No, it's not an option.
We'll find out in April.
You have to have the content, not necessarily a course.
Yeah,
Okay,
yep.
but- Okay.
Not a
Okay,
course,
but that
content.
means- Okay, but with that being said, with the content, because I'm very interested in learning.
It's easier to just do the
How
course.
do I document the content?
I've gone through Code a lot, and I did it once with content showing in nutrition, showing there's always content in A&P.
It's easier just to do the course.
I've also seen schools
Right.
get covered. It's kind of, it comes out.
I make
Such a
it feel-
prerequisite. Don't
I
mind.
make
In
it
her
feel.
situation.
I'm the sacrificial lamb.
She's built the content in. When I tried to build the content in with our recent degree plan changes, CODA rejected it.
Yeah.
So,
I did not too.
But see, I have had the content in
For a
since
long time.
1969.
so we'll see.
And I did go back and check.
Huh?
You don't,
I have the course, I don't have it built in
no,
my
I have it
computer.
built in.
I just have the
Oh,
course.
they're not.
Yeah, we have.
It's
And
easier.
I require high school chemistry. And then we built it in. I've gotten by with it for the last 3 cycles.
Yeah.
On the other,
Yeah,
other
yeah.
side of it, so what I did was, because I wanted to keep.
She tried.
Okay. I know it's,
On my back end, in my curriculum, my local curriculum.
it's going to be a mess.
It is, they're So what we did, we pulled the chemistry back in, but we're showing where the content for speech, for oral communication.
That's what we did.
Is within all of our different courses. So we had to map out that content, so we do not have a speech course.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to make sure when you're speaking that your microphone is flashing green.
We
We've
just
had a lot
leave-
of conversations
we just
that
leave it on.
haven't been picked up, but we'll
Is your
try to
microphone
summarize
flashing?
it.
Is your microphone on?
And
All right.
so,
Just leave them on.
Okay, I'll leave them on, but I just want to learn how.
Yeah.
Turn it on.
right.
I can show you that.
I'm sorry.
And like I said, I will let you know in April what they decide. I mean, the language in the standard has not changed, and I find it very difficult that they're going to say, oh, no, now things have changed. What has changed? I'm going to make them really tell me that. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
They
So-
asked me about speech. I said, nope, it's there, you saw it. I mean, they did.
Oh, yeah, they will. I'm sure they will. But I was really expecting it last time we had a site visit, and nobody said anything. But what we do is include it as a syllabi in the syllabi manual. We include chemistry because some of our students have to take it because they don't have it in high school. So, I don't know if that's how it got by. So, I will find out. So, back to this. Are we done?
I mean, without shooting me, do we want to look at the course description for clinical? Or is that a pretty generic
Yes.
workforce description?
Yes. I think we need to leave it as it is. We need it to be broad. Because a lot of it depends upon.
Well, I mean, I'm
patient base.
saying leave it broad, but does
Yes.
it really reflect dental hygiene?
I think for this discussion, I think it's okay to leave at bay, and the next welcome workshop, that you reevaluate.
They're not having WECM workshops any longer.
Oh, they're not, that's right.
Well, I guess to that point, we can make a recommendation to the WECM Advisory Committee.
Yes.
To look at the
clinical course description.
Clinical course
I
descriptions.
mean, across
Yes.
health programs.
Across health programs, actually.
Health science programs.
I'm on
Yes.
that committee.
Sorry, I told you you were going to shoot me.
So are we okay with all these courses in there? We don't feel like any of these are going to constrict our programs?
I don't think anyone is not going to be stayed at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's very manageable for all of us to all be able to give and take some.
I think so.
Can I just make this one point about the clinicals?
Mm-hmm.
I know you're going to be representing us, Carol, so, and maybe other, but so many other programs who have clinicals is not the same as our clinicals. And like he said a while ago, externals. These are not externals. And other allied health programs don't manage the curriculum within each of their clinical like we do. So they send students out to different clinical sites for different experiences. But that is why dental hygiene is unique in our clinical descriptions. So one of those, I think the co-board needs to get a grasp on that too, because most people have no idea, even in our own colleges, even though we have an on-site clinic.
Yes.
You know, so most people don't have that knowledge. So
Well,
when that
and that's
decision
where
is
I'm coming
made,
from.
yeah. So when that decision is made, then
That's where I think a recommendation,
you know
like he
that
stated,
the separate descriptions
to
are
that
helpful if somebody is transferring into our program. You know, we know from Texas it'll be okay, but
So is that something that needs to come as a formal vote from this group as far as a recommendation?
Or do we need to do something now?
Well, it would probably just need to come as a recommendation to the WECM Advisory Committee, and however you want to frame it. And what is that you want all of the clinicals to have a specific description?
it's they're separate clinical. They're separate.
They're separate
They're
clinicals.
separate.
They need separate clinical descriptions.
That describe
exactly what
the unique nature of our clinicals compared to, let's say, nursing or massage therapy or sonography.
Right.
It also helps CODA see the progression. Okay.
That would be
So-
really good. Those descriptors there would be very good for CODA. If we would even just put that in with what's going on,
Well,
it
then
might
why
be
don't
helpful.
we do
do
that
it
right
now?
now?
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
Because it does really give,
It does. It gives
the
more
opportunity is
definition.
there.
And it's so
Okay,
often.
Dwayne, we're going into the course descriptions for the clinical.
This is the one
Right.
for.
I
Yeah,
mean,
let's
I
do
really
it.
think we do because it's different than other allied health programs. And when you get a committee of other people that don't know, it's harder to make those changes.
But if you're just saying the levels, you just add that piece. What
But-
would that be for intensive care nursing or pediatric nursing? If I'm an outsider looking in, would that be enough to say the type of
Just
degree
clinical
of
1,
the-
clinical 2, clinical 3, is that what you're saying? Or level 1?
If you're just going to put those descriptors in the course description, I'm not sure that would be enough to make someone from the outside see that that's different.
Well, that's why we need to look at.
Yeah, so,
at- Can you scroll down, please, or would you please scroll down to where the course description is?
Maybe.
Or the
Okay,
title, maybe saying this clinical dental hygiene
There,
one,
there.
this is two, that's
Yeah,
three.
like I say, these description and outcomes are the same for every clinical and every discipline in the WECM.
So if we
That's
recommend
clear.
changes to that now, or do we have to send that on to, can we make suggestions?
Yeah, you can recommend, and it'll go to the WECM Advisory Committee. It's kind of a total change in their processes. But,
Can
but
I ask a question?
Michelle?
Like, just looking at the numbers, and you have clinical, like whatever number or combination you use, and this is what I do, I just put in parentheses, whether that's clinic 1, clinic 2, clinic 3, and then you see.
Well, you can do that you can do that in your own course catalog.
Right.
We're just talking that this
We're
course
talking about this
description
course
does not
description.
give you any feeling for an on-site ambulatory care clinic that we manage and our students are.
Yeah, and I guess to clarify, like you said, you can put that into your catalog if it stays generic like this. But if you change this in the WECM, then that has to appear in your catalog exactly.
True,
as
that's
it appears in
true.
the WECM.
But I'm
So
not
that's
saying
just
make this specific to clinic 1, 2, or 3. I'm saying make this course description fit what our clinical learning experience represents.
I get where you're coming from. Not necessarily define it by healthy maintenance, periodontal.
Right,
no,
right.
Just make it. I understand what you're saying. That makes good sense.
You're just adding on.
Oh, sorry.
No.
My question would be, if we're going to go through this exercise, and then let's say the WICM Advisory Committee says, well, we need to look at it, or we don't want to do that right now, and do we want to do it? Should we ask permission first, whether that's a go or do it?
I think that. I mean, they've asked us. We are the WECM.
Yeah, but they might say, we don't want to do that.
Well, they can. All we're doing is making a recommendation. I mean,
Recommendation.
all these things they could
True.
say, they could
Yeah,
disclose.
that's true.
Are you talking, Renee, about just adding to the description?
Or making that say,
Such
there
as
we go.
given.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
If you add, you can,
I mean, my
modify
idea
it.
is when I show that to someone, what makes our clinical
Different from a
different
nursing.
from nursing,
Not
sonography, radiology.
Yes.
Everybody else is external.
Yes, that's
So
right.
we
Exactly.
are on-site
Without
training process.
But we're also external, because we send our
Something you have to
students,
put that
we
includes
send our
comprehensive
students out.
evaluation.
True, but
But those are usually,
And those
unless you have the faculty and things in place, those are external experiences, not the clinical teaching.
But even so, even if you do, it's not,
Separately from all the others.
it's not under, it's
the
probably, I'm not under your
Yes.
program or
puts more
anything, but
value.
that you have certain requirements for that particular course,
Which is
right?
going to get
That
the
particular clinical.
To make them get paid.
So, and
because
it's, you
you're
can
evaluating
control
each
that.
clinic. It's different
You
than somebody
control
else that
the faculty you teach it.
comedies at a clinic.
You control
The patient
the
population.
patient experiences they have, right?
Right.
So, but in a nursing, or let's just not even use nursing. Let's just use rad tech or respiratory. They're going to a clinical site.
And they get what they get.
We don't control the patients they see.
Right.
I mean,
And someone else is supervising them, and they might have a coordinator that watches over 10
I mean, it's just
students.
so different than other clinicals. And this is a clinical, their description of clinical is so generic, it doesn't seem to identify that difference.
Yeah, and it's true because when some of our people that were reading WECM, they misinterpreted as to where it could happen.
Of course, and
Because it doesn't-
makes
it's
a
not
difference as
specific.
to how some colleges compensate those
Yes.
people.
Okay, here's an issue. Do y'all remember when Temple first started out?
Yes.
They were at
The VA.
the VA.
Did that first one.
Okay, so we have to make sure that that's
Correct, but I think what we have to say in that case, they didn't have control of the regulatory, like ocean things at that point.
okay.
But your school still had to train people to be there, right?
Still had their certain requirements.
We have
Still
to,
had to
I
do
think the
code.
biggest piece for me in our clinic is the regulatory pieces. And I don't know that you could put that in a course description.
No.
I think we should
Is
leave it
there
open.
another avenue that we could pursue that without this one?
Because we go to the VA, we go to the prison, we go to a special needs clinic and love
Yeah.
it.
There's several.
I mean, we go
But
to.
that's not where you get all your
several.
clinical training done.
They get some,
Some.
but not all.
But do they
your-
visit those
main
sites
part
when they
is-
come?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, we
So
have
they-
people in place, we have a hygienist
Faculty.
there.
Yes.
They will visit, and they do go
What
visit
happens
those
if you go
places.
to the, like, Fort Bliss, but they're gonna use their own hygienist?
Then
That's a different.
that's a
type of
different, that's an
clinical.
extramural.
Just a rotation.
Yeah, that's an extramural
That's not a-
rotation. They don't typically visit those.
They won't get credit for saline.
Yeah, they
or
don't get
anything
credit
like
for
that.
patients.
It has to be the same as, I mean, they have to be,
Has to
same
be,
standards, assessment, and supervision has to be in place.
They have to be calibrated.
yeah.
Could you say something like a community clinic? Because, I'm thinking that a way to generically,
A community-based
community-based healthcare,
facility?
yes. I don't know though, that may not
Community-based is
cover everybody.
Dental, community-based dental. Clinic.
Renee, this is hard.
Because
I know it's
you- I
hard.
could argue that
I didn't say it was gonna
nursing
be
goes
easy.
to community-based clinics too, so.
I
What
know.
stops that?
Okay, so think about what we do.
A dental hygiene
It's still work-based learning.
learning experience.
Direct supervision is provided by the clinical professional at an on-site clinic.
It's not always on site though.
At-
Professional.
So
Direct
give me,
supervision.
if you're talking another program, radiology, for example, direct supervision is provided by the clinical professional. That would might be an employee.
An employee,
area.
yes.
Right.
So is the difference that the direct supervision is provided by clinical faculty?
Yes.
Because they're not affiliated faculty, they're clinical, well, I mean, they're
employees of the-
affiliates, but they're not faculty. That's the big difference.
But if you had a rotation through this, like Belinda has, would that still be okay?
If
They
she
have
has-
to be,
they
if
have
they're
to be.
using them for clinical experiences for the commission,
Because that
they
would just
have
be
to be
kind of a
considered
side piece.
faculty.
Right.
And if not, then it's just a.
They have to
it's
be-
And that's only a
enrichment.
small
Either
piece.
that or it's an enrichment. So they have to be, they have to be assigned faculty. That's the difference.
It is the difference.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but they have to be faculty
And they have to be evaluated.
recognized by your college or your
Uh-huh.
institution.
But I think nursing programs have
paid
faculty that go to,
Yeah.
Nursing
to the
faculty,
hospital.
faculty have to go to
yes, so what's
the
different?
site
Yes,
with the students, or they have a preceptor at the site.
correct.
They're not always in direct supervision.
But they're not in direct
They're
supervision.
not direct
They're-
supervision.
It'll be
That's
more
true.
general
That's true.
supervision.
So it should say direct supervision on there?
It does say.
This says direct
Direct
supervision, but the
supervision.
difference is clinical professional, and the difference is it's clinical
Clinical
faculty.
faculty. Clinical faculty.
I really do.
I do.
I think that is the
really
difference.
will-
That is the difference.
Yeah.
And that's gonna raise a discussion about pay. That's another topic.
Because when you're talking a ratio of 1 to 4
Yes.
students versus a ratio of
1 to 10.
general 1 to 10.
And what the breadth is of doing the clinical, the breadth of what you're doing.
Right.
Why you need more of them?
At least it takes a step in that direction.
Yeah, it does.
Nobody will ever understand.
Sure.
I know, it makes us feel better though.
Yeah.
We just leave the first part the same and.
So
direct
leave the first
supervision
part the
provided
same
by
and
clinical.
put where professional, put faculty.
Clinical professional faculty. No, I'm just kidding.
Sheila,
See, they're not gonna.
Are they awesome clinical professional faculty?
you want me to throw this at you? No.
So maybe a dental, health. That one as
Where,
Gotta be some
well.
fun.
Dental,
Mm-hmm.
health-related, especially a dental work-based learning experience.
Yes.
Except that
Health-related.
that
wanna
will
put-
be specific to us. They won't, they
And
won't.
change that
expect
in all three?
That advisory committee is not gonna like that for a generic description because there are other
True.
allied programs
Right.
who don't need
That's
that
true.
to be there.
Yeah, it's,
But do you change it to occupational therapy theory to dental hygiene theory?
You could.
But I mean,
It
that,
would be, yeah, it would have to be specific to our field.
yes.
I think so.
I think you're
I
right.
wish it could
If you're
be.
gonna change it, just change it. Make it dental hygiene.
Make it dental
Clear.
hygiene and, yeah, I agree.
Here,
Yes.
you just want to go.
If they don't like
Yes.
it, they'll let us know.
Yeah.
So it's health-related, work-based learning experience, that's what it is. We're providing care to patients to apply specialized dental hygiene theory, skills, and concepts.
Yes.
Yes.
Direct supervisions provided by the.
I like that.
By-
Very good.
By
Four
clinical,
times.
full-time faculty.
You could take out the
Yeah.
before clinical, just by clinical faculty. Because that's why we have to have a doctor on
Yes.
staff, we have to have licensees.
Okay. That encompasses everybody. I like that.
Okay.
You want to go home too?
No, I just like it.
Don't you?
I'm still confused about.
That course description has always bothered me because it's just too
It's way.
Yeah.
broad.
So is everyone in favor of this new course description for the clinicals? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, good. Now where? Are we done?
We're gonna do this for all the clinics.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
dental hygiene clinicals.
All dental hygiene clinics.
Right, I want to make sure.
Yes.
That's very
And then
specific.
in our own course descriptions, when we add our published notes or whatever, then we'll say how we have that in the descriptor. It's, healthy, whatever, introductory, however, that stuff.
So the open clinic would be transitional.
Yeah. Transitional between clinic 1 and clinic 2 or whatever.
And programs would have to know that, because if a student's coming from another program and they've had 2 clinics, that doesn't mean they've had clinic 1 and clinic 2.
Correct.
That means they've had clinic 1 and a transitional, which doesn't really count for anything
Depends on
if
how
they
you.
come to our program.
That's right.
That's right. That's, okay.
That's right.
Okay, I got it now.
Any other issues that we need to address? Dwayne?
Well, that's a broad statement. I think we've covered everything that we've set out to do, and we have, I guess, as a final vote to, have we approved this
Okay. The framework?
framework? Yeah.
Okay, let's take a final vote on the framework as we have dealt with it today. All those approve the final framework?
In favor of?
All those in favor?
Should you make a motion and then?
You make a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the final drafted program of study for dental hygiene for the state of Texas.
A second.
All those
In favor?
in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay.
That's
We done?
all we need. Just need to adjourn.
Are you going to take it after a motion to adjourn?
Oh, can I have a motion to adjourn? Renee?
And Jackie seconds.
Okay.
Can I ask any one of you if you're going to the airport, and I'll share a cab with you?
Wait. Airport. My van is not very pretty.
She's taking us to the.
I'm going.
I'll take you.
Am I right?
Just